Check. Check. Welcome to the SPS podcast. You are now tuned in with the Raw Bunch. I am your host, DJ Strata, and moderator. Let's introduce the Raw Bunch and get straight to it. First off, Wardy, what's up with you, my good brother? How you been? It's good to see you, bro. You're on mute, Brody.
Oh, my bad. I said my bad. What up with it? Happy to be back, man. You already know.
Likewise, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is
What
the
up,
count,
families?
man. Blessings. CJ, what's up, brother?
I'm good, man. I made it here just in time.
What
I've
you
been
got
trying to do
going
a
on
billion
today?
things at once, but I'm here.
Yeah, what you got going on today?
Life. Man, it'd be a whole separate pod trying to talk about my day, man.
Oh, for For real. Saudi, what's up, love? How you?
What's up, guys? I'm here. Enjoy my little day off. So I ain't have to run around the world to get here.
That's what's up. That's good to see y'all, man. Listen to the audience. Y'all know I normally don't do shades, but boy, these headaches and these aches are a bitch. I
Let
had a
me.
day today. So, y'all got to bear with me, man. These
We putting on
damn.
shades tonight.
Say what?
So we putting on shades tonight.
We can
Hey,
do
I
it.
didn't even get the memo.
I'm trying to figure out what we
Yeah,
doing.
but
It's like
that
no.
damn boy. Listen, man. This,
I
this
ain't get the
headache got
memo. Don't
me
worry about it.
zooted, boy. Listen, man. I've been fighting this damn headache. Eyes been kind of sore today, but we gonna get to the pod, man. Like I said, that's what we here to do. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, man. I'm gonna set the standard, set the stage for why we even having this conversation. Shouts out to Bino. He has some stuff that he dealing with. You in our prayers, brother. You know the count. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get straight to it, man. Your standards versus the field. Will you dumpster dive to get the results? So this is how this show came about. Shout out to our Discord family, man. This might be risky. If you have it, please join, man. There's some dope people in there. We have some dope conversations. And so we were just kind of shooting the breeze like we do sometimes, right? And so the question came to me. I was like, yo, if men have a standard, right? Let's say men and women, they have a standard. Understandable, right? If your standard is so damn rigid that you can't get the results you want, my question was, how do you battle time? Now, what do I mean by that? Let's go with the men first. Let's walk this down with the men. So with the men, you think like, all right, let's say a single man, no kids. He's like, yo, I want a woman that ain't got no kids. I don't want to have a high body count because that's what they talk about on the internet, right? And let's say you wait. So the woman that you think might be suitable, the longer you wait, what's going to happen? Her body count gets higher. She might pop out a kid or two. So she looks a little different because you're standing on your square. Now let's take this for the women. Women might have the standard, the higher standard of, I want my man to make 90,000, 100,000 or better. Time work against you too. Because what happens is it takes a man at least probably, let's say mid 30s, early 40s to where if he works a job consistently, the way he might be able to touch that paper. You got your rarities, right? But just in general, this is how it works. So what happens is you fighting against time too, because the man that you're chasing, you're in the same predicament. Because by the time he gets there, he has a plethora of options that he's dating, he's still in his field, he's focusing. So my question was, and that's why we here, if we can all agree that the dating, the pool of the dating pool is filled with shit we don't want, at what point do you either reevaluate your standards or do you stand on them? So that's how we got here. Make sense? Anybody got any opening thoughts on that, just from the breakdown real quick before we get into the actual show?
Man, I feel like if you got if you done been through experiences, you actually comprehended them. You learned something from them, and you grew from them. Once you develop your morals and standards, you don't need to bend, fold, squat, break for anybody or anything. You need to stand on them, and that's it. Those that don't want to follow it, fuck it. There's other people to follow in the world. There's millions of people. Those that follow, bet, pull up. That's how I feel.
So do you think that somebody that has rigid standards needs to be um more, do you think they need to be more aggressive than someone that doesn't have the same standard, so to speak? Like, should they be more aggressive in their pursuit, or should they be more watching the field and see how it play if you're
I
not going
think
to move off the
I
standard?
think it depends on their environment, their lifestyle. Because some people's lifestyles, they might have to be a little bit more rough and rigid because their environment will respond better to that. But where if they was in a different environment, they can be gentle, they can be calmer about it, they can be more relaxed about it because this environment responds better if you do it in that way. So I think it just depends on that individual's environment that he's in. Because at the end of the day, you can still get the same message, but certain people might want that message delivered to them with aggression or they don't take it seriously. While somebody else might want you to give it to them in a more gentle way because if you give it to them with aggression, they won't even acknowledge it because they thrown off by it.
But
You
to
see what
the
I'm saying?
point
So I
of
think it
standards.
all depends on the environment or the people that they're dealing with for that.
Hmm. But to that point, do you think that when they're actually dating? Like, should they have a sense of urgency? Because with time, it seems like in both scenarios, time is your biggest enemy. Can we agree on that?
I would say that time is our biggest enemy, but I would also say if you actually took the time to learn that individual, if that individual doesn't seem like they need you to rush because they already know what's up, they already know they trying to be on the pace that you on, then you ain't gotta rush it. But if you with somebody that's kind of making it like, hey, time is ticking for me, you need to speed up, like da, 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 you know what I'm saying? Then now it's like pressure that's put on you to where whatever. Now if your pace is a fast pace too, then okay, then again you two can be compatible to go with this fast pace of rushing two things.
Mhm.
But if your pace is this pace, like you want to go 55, but this person want to go 65. Now you got to be pressured to either let me go to their pace, even though how I'm maneuvering it works better for me at this pace. But then you might end up crashing and burning. You see what I'm saying? So I don't. I feel like you got to find somebody that they can either match your pace or you got to be capable of adapting. But let's hope that if you have to adapt to their pace, that it's not to the point that it is detrimental to you.
Okay, so now I want to frame it because I think you framed it from the point the way you've already found somebody, right? Bring it a step before that. You're single, right? You have the standard. Do you think that person should be in a rush to find a person that matches their standard? Let's get to that because I think what you said makes sense when you've already found somebody. But what I'm seeing in the world is that there are people, men and women, that are on this standard shit so hard that they ain't even approach the actual field of, all right, now I'm ready to choose. Like, they literally on some, yo, she got kids, fuck her. I ain't doing that no more. And that's cool, right? Or the woman is like, yo, if he don't make this much money, fuck him. And this is before they even say, hey, how you doing? So my question was more towards the timing of, you keep your standard, but you're single about to enter the field. Do you think they need to be a little more diligent than someone's chilling? Or do you think that you still stand on, regardless as to where you're in the process, you can slow walk it down? Which one you think is
I
more
say
reasonable?
I say from personal experience, you need to stand on whatever your standards and morals is. Because if you go in and like these are your standards, these are your morals, this is what you prefer, this is what you look for, and let's hope that your standards and morals are very realistic, like not no crazy outlandish shit that you hear on social media, right?
Yeah.
So they're realistic, but they're solid based off of what you got personally in your life. That if you can get somebody that fits these criterias, great, and you
Uh-huh.
stick to that, right? Don't say you
Mhm.
want a woman that don't smoke, and then you decide, and that's one of your standards and morals, and then because she look cute, you know what? It's okay that she smoke Newports all the time. You see what I'm saying? So
Okay.
you need to have those standards and morals and stick to them no matter what. Like once you got them there, you know for sure, like, hey, I know what I want. That's it. Don't shift it because if you're willing to change one thing, you're gonna change another, then another. And at this point, you standing and folding. If you can't stand on your own morals and standards and beliefs, you can't stand on nothing, can you?
That's a bar. I like it. I like it. Wardy, what's your thoughts on the original premise I laid out? Or you can speak to what CJ just said. What do you think about?
Wody, man, don't do like you used to do, where you'll say some shit. Now I gotta revamp everything, and I like, yeah, God damn, Wody, you right. God, fuck, now I gotta. No, don't do me like that.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think Cat Williams said made a good statement. He was like some of the worst advice he ever got was don't change. So like change is
Mm,
the only thing constant in life. So we constantly evolving into, you know what I'm saying, what we truly are and what we supposed to be. So I mean, I don't know, man. I do think you should stand on your standards, and I agree with CJ. I also think that you should be able to match those standards, if not in the same realm, in an equal yoke type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So
facts.
I agree with that. And as far as rushing or whatever, if you got a standard about something, and if you're trying to rush it, I feel like then that's when you start taking, the look, like you say, you might not say, you might, smoking might be on your thing, but if you rushing, you like, well, she got 80%, and then are we gonna look at it like realistic? Are you gonna ever get a 100% person? You know what I'm saying? So if your standards is to check off every box on your list, that might be unrealistic in itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? It might, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, yeah, that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to reevaluate myself at all times. So that's, and, check myself. Cause I mean, I know I'm not perfect as well. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and I really don't feel like, I feel like, go ahead. Nah, I'll leave that for a little later. I'll leave that for later.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Saudi, what you got? What you think?
I feel like anytime that you are in a dating field, you shouldn't rush it. You need to be meticulous in the search. I also feel like you gotta be realistic as fuck because you can't expect like you can't expect something like delusional. So when I say delusional, I mean like for instance, if you have children, I feel like it's selfish to want a man that doesn't have kids. I feel like that's selfish and it's not realistic. So I feel like certain standards I could see, like, smoking, you want somebody to be healthy, but like if you not making 100K, you shouldn't necessarily want a man to make 100K. Like I feel like that's certain stuff that y'all both can work towards. Um, because working at McDonald's and wanting somebody that make 100K is crazy to me.
I see you. So you said it should be realistic. Also, Saudi, when you get a chance, love, can you pop out and come back in because we're getting
Okay.
that warp sound from your microphone. Just pop out, come back in. Um, y'all heard that too? Was I tripping? Okay, cool. Yeah, we got to pop out, come back in, man. I think we mined that out pretty well at first, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, I really think that this is gonna be something that becomes an issue. Like I think that what y'all are saying is valid, but I think what I'm speaking to and what I'm seeing is that people are taking themselves out of the game before the game even starts. Right? What I'm finding is that like when we start tracking the way men are moving, so there's a movement if y'all don't know called MGTOW, men go their own way. That way they're not dealing with women at all, right? They decided fuck them, we not dealing with them. I'm not interested in them. And again, that's where their mind is right now. Now on the other side of this thing, you got women, and again, shout out to This Might Be Risky Discord. I was saying we're kind of transition from women going from hot girl summers to where now it's galentines, to where they went from
The
fuck
4B movement.
yeah, the 4B movement to where they're like, yo, we're not dealing with dudes either. So what's happening is, and this was a trajectory, right? Women have went from completely saying fuck all this, I'm doing what I want, to now they want companionship and they'll find it in other women. So I think the next progressive step for both is to realize the value in the other. So because I think that this turn is about to happen, I want to get kind of have a proactive conversation with y'all about why it's important to figure out what you want now. Because when the tide turns, and so that's why I think timing is so important, right? Because if let's say you were standing on your standard and you watch this thing play out for a year and a half, a woman you might have been eyeballing, but you ain't say nothing to, in a year and a half, a lot can happen. She done racked up a body you don't want. She done, you know what I'm saying? Maybe had a kid out of wedlock, maybe coming out of divorce. But because your standard is so crazy because you ain't in the field, what happens is somebody can be eliminated before they even get started. And I think that this analysis paralysis shit, I think that it's got all of us a little warped, right? I think we're slowly awakening to the awareness that we need each other, but I still think we're about a year or two off. But I think that those that are sitting on the sidelines, what you're gonna find is the longer you sit, the more you're gonna find reasons and ways to dismiss people that had you either jumped on them earlier, you wouldn't be here, or now you have canceled out everybody based on you not moving at all and not being malleable toward this point of constant evolution. Is that fair? Did I frame that right?
All right,
I
it
mean, yeah,
makes
that
sense.
makes sense.
Yeah. So let's get into about the numbers, man. We're gonna tap in and kind of see what's going on in the actual field, right? Like these are just my theories and thoughts. Like I don't got nothing to prove or none of this shit, but I can kind of see this transition. So where are we at in a snapshot? Here's the black dating scene. So right now, the black male population who consider themselves black alone was 20 million in 2021, making up 48% of the total black alone population. 30% of black Americans are married compared to 48% of the overall US population. 50% of black adults have never been married, in contrast to 34% of the actual general population. 83% of black men with an income of 100,000 or higher are married to a black woman. 30.8% is the average divorce rate for black marriages compared to the 42% national average, and 47% of black adults in the US were single in 2020. I'm gonna leave this up for a second. Let me know when y'all see something y'all want to speak to, and we'll bring it down. And again, I'm assuming black alone because I didn't really do a little deep dive into that. I think that means like you're truly single. Like, you know what I'm saying? You might be playing around a little bit, but you ain't got nobody you heavily invested in. So you got 20 million black men that are with that in 2021. So that's like 50% of the population of black men. 30% of the black Americans are married. We're a little under the US overall, but not by much. 50% of black adults have never been married at all, right? So we're a little high on the average there. But I love the fact that 83% of black men with an income over 100 are married to black women. And again, the average divorce rate is actually lower for black marriages than there are for the national average. And then 47% of black adults are single. So out of those, which ones speak to you?
Well, the fact that 83% of black men that's over 100,000 is with another black woman is you know that's a good statistic for me. Like
Yeah,
personally,
yeah, that's fire. What about it speaks to you? What you like about it? What does it tell you?
that it speaks that the well, I don't know if he already had it or what, like if they built it together, but in my mind it speaks to them, what I'm saying, building something together and getting there, or even what I'm saying, well, it's a black man that has already had the income of that. Well, it speaks to, what I'm saying, the fact of, black man understanding the need and the the value of, what I'm saying, the black woman as, what I'm saying, a mate and a lifetime partner, you know what I'm saying? So
I like
I,
that.
I feel like that's
That's
a
a
good
fact.
thing.
That's a fact, bro. I think that was encouraging as shit. Like we put a lot of stats up, man. I think that seeing that the black men that are making that, the ones that are married, like over 80% of them are married to black women. I think that's super promising. We don't really see that talked about a lot, right? I think we talk about that loud minority of a black man that get a other type of woman.
That's yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I
Yeah,
feel
like
like society make us feel like as soon as they do reach that bar or the 100K, they automatically go to the other side when the numbers don't even show that now.
it's a fact. Shout out to Sneak, man. I think that 30% fucked a lot of people up. I think we listen to different panels and talks, and I think sometimes we assume that the divorce rate is higher than what it is. It is actually dropping over time, right? I mean, it still exists, but I think that what happens is people use statistics to justify whatever side they're on at that time in their life, right? And that's cool, but I do think that that is why we put the statistics at the front of the conversation to frame it right, so that you know what you're up against, right? Like you can cherry pick how you want to, but this is why the stats go up to begin with, because it frames the conversation honestly based off the numbers. Now you can draw whatever conclusion you want, but this is why we always put them up that way, so that you can kind of see, all right, this is what we're speaking to. Let's go with CJ. Which stat stood out to you the most, brother?
It was actually the one that Sneak said. To be honest with you,
Really?
I thought
What's
that
that?
number was higher.
Mhm. Yeah.
For
We
real,
actually like
the 38
12%.
that
Mhm.
30.8 is the average divorce rate for black marriages. I honestly thought it was higher, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Why would
and
you
I think
think it
it
was
has a lot
higher?
to do with like a lot of the platforms that we listen to and what certain people be saying. That I actually thought that divorce rate for black people was higher than that. Another one that gets me though is that last one. 48% of black adults in the US were single in 2020.
Okay. What does that tell you?
I feel like it. So remember how we said back in the reason why marriage was so high back in the day, like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was more of a survival, not just love and everything. It seemed like more survival. I low COVID kicked off at the end of 2019. So
Right.
2020 was the big banger of COVID.
Right.
So I feel like if 48% of black adults in the US were single in that time, that 53 that was actually together, whether in serious relationships or married, it was a survival tactic because that number today has got to be lower than that
Mm,
of US were single in 2020. I feel like the single rate is definitely got to be higher. There's got to be way more single people today than what they were in 2020. So I feel like in that time frame, it was more of better to be with you while we're going through tough times. We don't know where the world about to go. You know, I feel like it was a survival thing at that time for it to be for the 53% to be, or was it 53% to be that many folks in a relationship? Because obviously it's not that high now. I think that was a survival thing for it to be like that.
that makes sense. I like that. That actually makes sense. That tracks well. Sorry, which stat stood out to you?
The stat that stood out to me was the one that Wu had said about the 100K and being married to a black woman.
Yeah,
So
I think that's a good one. I think that all of these stats are helping to drill down the point that again, like the field is only as good or it's only gonna get as good as you are willing to search. My analogy to it is this, right? If you keep in on your word, you got all your standards and shit, right? You can either play the scratch off or you could try to hit the big lotto. Meaning I can go into a convenience store, get me a scratch off, maybe hit 4 grand, 2 grand, 3 grand, and figure it out. Or you could play the motherfucking the pick what was it, pick six, pick seven, like the mega millions. Y'all gotta pardon me, I'm not a I don't play the lotto, but
I don't play
y'all
that
get
shit
the
neither.
you get the premise, right? Like your chances become so much more higher to get that one payout. And I think that that's the part of the conversation I wanted to stick to is let me ask y'all, do you think these standards that people have, like, and we're talking about single people that are kind of still looking, right? Because there's another set of people that's just gonna be single and they don't give a fuck, right? But for the people that are single that want to be, do you think their standards are standing in the way of them finding what they want?
I feel like we are in a what's the term, like an instant gratification era where it's just like if it ain't fitting you, then just go somewhere else instead of just sometimes working with what you got. That goes back to the 80/20 rule. So that's just my input.
I feel you. What you think, bro?
Can you repeat the question? I just want to make sure I got.
Yeah. So, what do you think is? Do you think that the standards that single people have that want to date, do you think those standards are holding them back from even getting in the field?
Nah, I don't think it's holding back from getting in the field. I think they in the field, but it's just when you have standards, then everybody ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like what?
Everybody can't go.
Yeah, everybody ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying, match up to the standards. So it's like, do you have standards or you just looking for, what you looking for? So, you know, as
Mm,
I mean, if you got standards and you sticking to them and standing down, and that's what you saying, this is what you want. These
mhm.
things right here is what you want, and yeah, like it's gonna take some time to get all of those stars to align like that. You feel me?
That makes sense. CJ, what you think? Do you believe that? So, if you think that, let's go with Wardy's premise, right? You think that the standards is proactively helping them vet better? When do you think you should move a standard, or do you think you should at all?
CJ said stand on business.
Yeah,
I
You
feel like if
still
it
on
was
that?
helping them proactively vet better, it wouldn't be so many single people.
Hmm.
Well, what
Do you
about if
agree
your
with that?
person's just not in that area and you need to get outside your area that you in to really find your person, and then these group of people is the only thing that you got to vet from, and you like, man, ain't none of this it.
No, I could agree because that's like where I'm at right now. So I could agree to that. So I could agree to that. But I'm just saying for the people who are in that area, I feel like it's sometimes I feel like it's a double sorted what is it? A double
Double-edged
edged
sword.
sword? Yeah.
Hmm. So, damn. All right.
So I'm saying, so oh my bad, go ahead,
No, you
start.
good? Go ahead, cook.
You know what I'm saying? So what I mean, what do you do if you in that situation though? Like
That
if
was
you
gonna be
done
my next
vetted through
question.
these people and like they pretty much do this or do that, and you like, nah, I'm definitely not into that, and I don't deal with that. So like, you know what I'm saying? What do you do? Like, you got to keep vetting, or you got to get outside, or like what? Like,
I feel like you gotta get outside. I feel like dating or looking to date is like finding a job. You gotta network. Like, so I'm not just going to go on Indeed. I'm going to go to Indeed. I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to go to Snag a Job. Like, I'm going to put myself in those areas to make sure that I can possibly find those prospects.
all right,
I'm
now
just
let
not going to sit there and wait for them to come to me.
true, true indeed, true indeed. As a woman looking to be in a relationship, you wouldn't
Mm.
like you.
For
So
me,
you
because
saying
I
as a
am,
woman? Oh,
I'm
pardon me.
sorry.
I'm saying as a woman, you would actively pursue a man that you want.
It depends. So right now, like you said, if you're not in the area, I'm in West Virginia. I'm not gonna half the people out here are not my cup of tea. So
Hit the
I have
mountains.
to actively go into these areas and put myself out there because if I don't, I'm gonna either have to go to the other side and date a Caucasian, or I'm gonna have to lower my standards and deal with someone that meet my don't check my boxes.
Mm.
What's
So
wrong with
you're
lowering your
submit.
standards?
No, because the standards out here ain't that good. I'm sorry.
Okay, because that's gonna be my next question. Um,
Mm.
realistically, let's say your trajectory is that you stand in your current area for the next 5 years. Do you think your standards would change then?
No, because I don't mind putting myself in other areas. I don't mind traveling. I don't mind networking.
Okay.
I don't mind that because like I said, I'm more realistic to know that if I want something, I would either have to lower my standards and
Hmm.
deal with a hillbilly, or that's just what it is at this point.
Not the hills
So
have eyes.
Right, type shit. No, real life. Like,
Hey, look, can you define networking?
so
Cause
like when I say networking, prime example, like we on the podcast. So I'm gonna go to uh what is it called? I gotta get my stuff together, Strutter, because I'm working on it.
yeah,
So
you
let me think
good.
about it for a second. Um I would have to go to different events or just like different places where I know the caliber of man is gonna be. So when
Mm.
I say networking, I mean I'm going to go to events that I know people that are into the same things that I like, podcasting or poetry. I'm going to go to those places because I know the men that I want are going to show up there.
mm, okay.
Like it. Do you think that women use that tactic in mass, Saudi?
I don't know. I would like to say they do. I would like to, but like honestly, I don't know. I know a couple of my friends, yes, they do, but not all of them do. So it's just like I feel like it's 50-50.
If you had to push a percentage one way or another, which way would it go? If it had to be 51-49, which way would it be?
You said 50 what? 51-49?
Yeah, because you said it's 50-50, but if I had
Oh,
to take the
I
tick
feel
one way or
like
another, which way is it going to go?
I feel like no.
So you think they actively network?
No, I feel like they don't.
Uh,
I feel like
got you.
they take what's available.
All right, y'all keep it rolling. Give me 1 second. Do something real quick. I'm still with y'all.
So
Wardy, CJ, hold me down for 1 second.
yeah, yeah.
Man, if you gonna say, well, if you say some women network, some don't.
Well, and that's maybe not the best terminology to use, but
They don't be out. They don't travel outside their situation they're in.
yeah.
Mm. But why is that? Is that like a sense of fear or a sense of comfort?
I feel like it could be both.
I'm
I feel
saying.
like because like I don't know. I feel like it could be both, to be honest. What you
Like, for
got for me?
example, like you in West Virginia, so obviously for you to get even 50% of the type of man that you prefer in your environment, the odds is slim to none.
Right.
So that means you yourself, to even get close to what you want, you would have to more than likely travel outside of your area.
Outside
Right.
of my area, and then I just gotta be outside. Like I just can't go home, go to work. I mean, go to work, come home, and then just expect a man to just stumble to my lap. Like it's just not gonna happen. And if it do
Okay.
happen, like I feel like those chances are slim.
Hmm. Have you ever tried like the dating apps to see like if there's even anybody that fits what you would prefer in your area?
You wasn't in the Discord. Yes, I have.
I heard
And
you
when I
talk about it, but
did,
I ain't hear you. I ain't see you. You didn't post nothing. Or if you
it
did, I
was
wasn't in
nothing
there for
to
that part.
post, CJ. That's the
There was nothing to
thing.
post.
What you
Like,
looking for? What
like
are you looking for?
everybody that was okay. So remember, we did it because Jay and Arnold was doing theirs. So I'm like, all right, let me go and download BOK. I download BOK, and don't get it wrong, like my shit was hitting, but half the niggas was 200, 300 miles away. So either way, it's like I have to either he's gonna have to travel to me or I'm gonna have to travel to him.
I'm
You got to
saying
do a
that
road trip just
in
to get
that
your person.
traveling, right, and that distance apart, that seems like it will complicate things more than being, you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
in the area together.
I mean, it just depends on the type of relationship that you want. Like me personally, I long distance is nothing that is like a deal breaker for me. Um, so it just depends on the partner and the person that you're talking to, honestly, in my opinion.
That makes sense. I think I like it. I think that the thing is though, Saudi, I love the fact that you are still actively pursuing. I think that what happens more times than not is that people will be in your same scenario and they have a million excuses why they can't get the results they want, right? I think that far too often what happens is people have viable options around them, um, and there's an excuse for everything and everybody around them, more so than not. And I think that the standards can be a crutch sometimes, right?
Mm.
To where you use that as, well, ain't nothing around here. I mean, I think that if you keep looking, I know you'll find what you're looking for, as old Saudi, but I think that from just having the hypothetical conversations we have and just talking to people out in the earth, I think that more often than not, they can give you a list of complaints about the opposite sex before they can tell you how they actively trying to find what they're looking for. And I think that that's the part that becomes a little troublesome to the ear, right? I think us for the most part though, like I know y'all personally, like I don't think that's the case with y'all, but like just listening to other people and shit, like I'm starting to find that like I don't know, bro. It's like the excuse is easier than the work. And maybe it's always been that way. I just didn't pay
Yeah, yeah.
attention to it. You feel me? Like
Mm-hmm.
the excuse becomes a crutch for the work that you don't want to do. Am I off base?
I don't think you off base at all. I feel like just come back. I'm gonna think about this real quick before I say it.
You good. You good. You good. You good.
Nah, I think you're right on. I think you're right on.
Think it makes sense. Think it makes sense. I'm gonna start this next question. Let's go with CJ. Where do you think high standards cross the line into being unrealistic, bro? When does your standard become an unrealistic one, or does it ever?
Are you talking about me personally or just people in general?
No, people in general.
I think it becomes unrealistic when the more things you name, those characteristics or traits or assets or personalities start falling in line with those people that are in the 1 percentile that actually have them.
Okay.
The more you start naming these things, like first things first, the moment you say, I want a man or woman that's like physically fit, like they gym bros, like they worked out. Let's be real. That's about what 10% of the population, if that. That's actually like that. All these gyms, but they're not that packed. I know. So you automatically just, if that's one of your things, you instantly knock out a large majority of the population of options for you, just off that. Then you start saying 6 figures. Well, we already looked up that that percentage is even smaller. Now you want somebody that's that physically fit and they make 6 figures. You see what I'm saying? The more you start adding those, that one thing that majority of the population doesn't have, your standards become ridiculous. Your standards as a whole, like the list as a whole, becomes ridiculous because you now have created this golden child that you're looking for. So that's when it happens. When everything you start naming becomes not like it's not realistic, but when you start naming so many things that are part of the minute people, then it becomes unrealistic.
What would be your advice for how long someone should pursue a higher standard? Like, do you think that has a time frame on it?
A time frame?
Yeah. So let's say you out in the field and you single and you looking and you got three very hot things that are a no go. How long should somebody keep pursuing it if they don't have the results?
And I would say how long they want to keep being single. Like that's how I view that. Like, because in reality, they can if they just keep telling themselves, I'm gonna find this, I'm gonna find this. Okay, you can keep telling yourself that. A fat person can keep saying, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna lose weight, right? But at some point, when is that person that wants to lose weight finally get up to lose weight? You're gonna say, I'm gonna keep finding some keep, and when are you gonna finally realize, hey, I'm probably not. You got to come to the reality that there's more that's got to be done to this. You got to put a different step into this. You got to make some adjustments. And if you don't make them, then you'll just be sitting around here waiting. So
Okay.
then at some point they got to make it. But I think, like every other person in the world, you got to just downright let them go through their delusion a little bit. But at some point, reality's got to hit them motherfucking in the face. So I
Mm,
guess whenever they decide to stop being single or realize that you went from being one of the 10 guys in the group that was single to being the only guy left in the group that's still single, you know? So
okay.
it's on them.
I like it. Saudi, when do you think a higher standard can become unrealistic?
Well, I was gonna say when you don't get the results. Um, like I don't know. I always got to use myself because I don't know. Like for me, I don't necessarily want to date a man that doesn't have children because I have four of them things. So dating. I don't know why, but I be getting single men with no kids. So it's like I gotta try it out and see. Like I just can't knock it. But we also have to have those conversations before prior to know if they want more children, if they want kids. So it's like I feel like you just gotta start taking tallies, like start adding that shit up and doing the math. If it works, it works. And if it's just outlandish, like don't super down your standards, but I feel like it has to be some um level of compromise. Like you have to compromise something at some extent, I feel like.
Okay. Well, I got a different question for you. Do you think that, like, so if we putting the standards on a sliding scale, right?
Mhm.
Do you think that the other intangibles that you didn't account for, you think they can make you move off your standard a little more?
If they're you saying if they're like conducive to the relationship working?
Yeah. If
Hell
the
yeah.
other skills are, yeah, the intangibles are comparable. to your standard, do you think people should be more able to slide them up and down, or you think they should stand firm on it regardless?
I'm saying like I said, like I feel like some things we don't know that's good for us may be good for us. You know what I'm saying? So, some things that people got to offer us that we might not see the value in it by just, or we might overlook it or not see. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like if just say if I'm with somebody and I'm like, all right, yo, I ain't know. Okay, dang, she got this. You know how to do. Well, I mean, kind of having financial, what I'm saying, wits or some type of smarts is already gonna be, But I'm saying just like to the next, like, dang, that's next level type. Like, you know what I'm saying? I might can deal with that little flat booty now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you feel
Right.
me? Like, yeah, like,
No,
yeah.
real shit.
So yeah,
Real shit.
So
Because that's
basically,
how
if
it
they can
actually
add
shows up.
some, basically if they can add like some type of value.
right. Because at the end of the day, that value of what I'm saying, that wisdom or knowledge or understanding about something is gonna always outlast the body, like what I'm saying, and things that's physical like that anyway. Like, so that's what I'm saying. That's yeah, and those things can disappear quick. Like an accident can happen, and that can be it for all of that. Like, so you know what I'm saying. Like, that's why I try not to base my standards off physical things, but and only look at them for like the bonuses. Like that's bonus. If it, you know what I'm saying, you know,
Mm.
those
But
things
I
are
like
bonus.
I like what he said because it just make me think about something like, when it comes to the man who doesn't have necessarily like the 100K, or like he may not have a high school diploma, but he graduated from the streets and he know how to get money. And when I say get money, not even in the streets, but he know how to utilize his resources.
Right.
So I feel
Right.
like, you shouldn't knock him because he don't got that degree.
That
So
makes
I feel
sense.
like what Wody said, that sliding scale, it should be able to be moved up and down depending on the type of person and the value that they can add.
Right.
I like it. I like it. CJ, I'm about to start with you. You know, I like ask you the hard questions first. You built for this, man. You got this. So my question to you, bro, are high standards a reflection of self-worth or are they a defense mechanism? So if you got high standards, is it because you value yourself a lot or is it just a defense mechanism because you don't want to do the fucking work?
And
Can I just
Isn't
that's
ask
one of
that
them depend.
what work?
That's
What
based
work
off the
first?
person. Because if I said me personally, it would be option A. Like, and what's crazy is what I viewed as my standards. Somebody told me they were high standards, but it was crazy because what I was looking for in a woman was something that the average woman with common sense should have.
ain't that common sense
And
ain't
yet
common?
somebody told me I had high standards. I need to lower my standards. And I was just like,
You
do you know who I am? Like, I guess I sounded like a dickhead saying that, but it was just like, there's other dudes that are literally in the same position as me, about my height, probably got good appeal or whatever, and their standards are ridiculous. All right, I even they want a woman with 3, 4 kids that still got the value of a Ferrari. That's how they want their woman to come to them, right? And I'm like, no, I like Hondas. So it's just like,
So
you
so
feel
my
me? Like,
question my
and
question to
so
you though,
I feel
in
like
the
it's
real
definitely
world, like in mass for men and women, outside of you and your circle, right? Do
right.
you think that most people are high that have high standards that we will all consider, all right, that's a little high? Do you think that comes from self-worth or do you think it's a defense mechanism to hide the
I
work
think
they
is
don't
I
want to
think
do?
for some, I would say
it's
minority is a defense mechanism. I think majority is delusion. Like, that's how I view that. I think
Okay.
majority of them have these high standards because they're delusional. They really think that they really feel like this person that they want in demand, they gonna get. What up though? I feel like they really feel like this person that they want, they gonna get, and they not willing to think nothing outside that. And they probably don't even fit the criteria to gain that person for real, for real. But those
Oh,
majority ones, I think not the majority, but those minority ones, I think is a defense mechanism because they probably have what some may view as high standards, but they probably done try to work it out with some people or did the dating scene and got fucked over. So
Oh,
now they like, but because you gotta think about it, majority of people don't put in the work. So those ones with those high standards, they just barking with delusion. But those minority ones that actually put in the work, they probably ain't gonna, they probably didn't win the first time. That's why a lot of folks are still single. But those first couple of times, they probably got fucked over too. So now it's
okay.
becoming more of a defense mechanism because I bet you whatever those high value standards were, they
Hmm.
had them. They ran to somebody that had half of that list and said, "All right, I'm gonna just rock with this one for a little bit." But notice that means what they did. They bent over. They got leaning with their own standards. They didn't just downright stick to the standard and said, "Well, they got 6 out of 10 things. I can't do it. They need to have at least two, three, four more. They need to have the rest of it because what I'm asking ain't even much." You see what I'm saying? So I think that
Okay.
is it's a defense mechanism because they more than likely went into the dating market. They tried it and they more than likely got lenient because they really want to be with somebody and they got fucked over.
Like that. I like that. Let's go with Woody. Do you think these high standards and mass that people have, do you think them joints are that people just have good self worth, or is it a defense mechanism to hide the work they don't want to do?
What work they don't want to do? What does that mean?
So let's say your standard is, let's say for a woman, I want a man to make 100,000, but you do that because the last dude you were was broke, or you got a fear of being broke. So now your expectation ain't really based off of something that you truly want. It's just a defense mechanism to hide the work you don't want to do. So, like, let's say your standard is, I want my woman to be hyper, super feminine, the most feminine of the feminine superwoman, and she better cook, clean, and da 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 da, because you truly have dealt with a erratic, disrespectful woman. So now the next one, the bar is way the fuck up here because you know what I'm saying. The women you were dealing with, like, kind of like that knee jerk reaction to where your standards are shifting based on it being a defense mechanism. So something either happened to you or something you're afraid will happen, and that's the standard versus you having self worth. Which one you think is more of?
I'm trying to think because I'm just trying to see where your standards come from to even make them. You know what I'm saying?
That was gonna be a question I had later, but yeah. Uh huh.
Um, I mean, I think all right. So I'll answer it like this. I think initially it comes from self worth and wanting the best for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
and like everybody say, it can grow into like, well, you know, like you say, like these person had this and that, but they was broke, and we was, you know what I'm saying. I had to take on the responsibility as a woman. I had to take on the responsibility of making sure everything was good and like no, like you got to at least, you know what I'm saying, like. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have some money now. Like I can't do that no more. I need somebody to at least meet me halfway. So I mean, if that's a defense mechanism to, you know what I'm saying, not be in that situation no more, shit, fuck, so be it. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel me? So, but yeah, I mean that's how I feel. I think initially it starts out as self worth and wanting the best for yourself and wanting the, you know what I'm saying, the best person that you can get. Like you know what I'm saying? Shit, sometimes you want something out, you might want something out little out to lead, you know what I'm saying? So, but that might help you get up to that lead. So, but I feel it though. I feel it. That's what I feel.
I like it. Saudi, what you think?
No, that was what I was gonna say. I like to give a little bit more benefit, I guess, than what people would like for me to give. But I like to say that it was self worth. I felt like it was basically trial and error. Like, you went through it and you figured out that that ain't where you wanted to be at. So you up the bar. Like,
Okay. Okay. So y'all think it is a defense mechanism, but not necessarily a negative one, just a knee jerk reaction? Do y'all think these are y'all think people's standards are knee jerk reactions to past shit?
Nah, I think
I
that
think
you
it's more
just
of a
learn.
cause
I
and
think
effect
that's. I
thing.
mean, everything you go through, that's what help you learn what you like or what you don't like, and what's good for you or what's not, and what's you know what I'm saying. So each time you go through something, or you know what I'm saying, like you might go through this person or be politicking or whatever, and you might see something you do like and something you don't like. So you might, you know what I'm saying, like. I mean,
Mm,
why would you want to be with somebody that you don't like? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, so I feel like the standards is going, you know, it's gonna make a difference in the type of people you encounter along the way. Like, you know what I'm saying?
that's real. I think that makes sense. I like that. I like that a lot. What were you saying, CJ? You said it's more of like a cause and effect.
Yeah, it's like a cause and effect thing. So like because they actually that minority that actually try to go into the day market and try to put in the work because they got affected, then as a result, they might those ones that got the bad outcome out of it, now they just like, all right, man, I try to be lenient on my morals and standards and it got me horse shit. It got me fucked over. So now I gotta be more stern about what I want and what I'm looking for. Because at the end of the day, some people are very headstrong about what they're looking for, me. And then there's people that want to be, lenient. They want to, like, yeah, they got these things, but it's just like, ah, man, but she got a nice vibe. So let me just, I'll let this slide. I'll let that slide. And then whatever those things where they let slide, and it become like a backlash on them. So now they like, man, I bet for the next one, I ain't even gonna let that shit slide. You see what I'm saying? They just it becomes a cause and effect thing.
So, do you think we overcorrect when we shouldn't have to?
Yeah, for sure.
People
I
or
think
ourselves.
some people overcorrect, but
Ask it again,
shit,
Woody.
it is what it
Oh, my
is.
bad. My
What you
bad.
say, brother? No, you good.
Now, I was just saying, other people or ourselves overcorrect
Other people.
and like trying to get them to do what you wanted to do. Yeah, shit. I'm trying to make you see.
Yeah, like you said, it's something
Yeah,
to definitely consider, bro. I think that a lot of
yeah.
what's happening with these different movements, I think it's just that, bro. I think it's a gross overcorrection to a knee-jerk reaction to a bad experience. And I think that what happens is I don't think we allow enough time in between um the dating and the heartbreak to do the self-work to reset the slate. Meaning, as an opposed to redirecting your standards every time you run into some shit, it's almost like, no, my standard is my standard. It just didn't work with her. But I can't carry that to the next woman. I think the resiliency is what's fucking us up because you can take the lesson, right? And be like, okay, this is a mindful cue. But let's say I want a feminine woman and a woman I'm with, it's like, okay, it was on the sliding scale. She wasn't as feminine as I liked her, but she had other things I like. But after a while, I was like, yo, fuck, this shit ain't working. So now the thing that I let slide, now it becomes that thing in the back of my brain, like, fuck, I know I shouldn't let that go, but I did, right? And so then you're like, man, fuck that. The next one has to be super feminine. And it's like that wasn't a requirement prior to the girl that fucked it up.
Right.
That's why I think we overcorrect. It's almost like the standard, the baseline of the standard was fine the way it was. You just ran somebody that fucked it up. So now you trying to protect yourself from it happening again. You overcorrect something that wasn't the issue. The issue is with the person that you chose, not with the standard. And I don't think people can decipher the two. Does that make sense?
Nah, that's real. That's real right there. Because that's kind of how, like, you know what I'm saying, we were saying it, but I think that, the overcorrection comes from the lack. I mean, it comes from like accepting things that you didn't. Like that's what you know what I'm saying, that you wouldn't. Like it don't even, like you said, it didn't even come from the initial standards. Like when you like we say, I'm gonna let this go or this go. And then you looking at the whole situation like, man, my standards is like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
That makes sense. What you think, CJ? Am I on point? Am I off my rocker with that?
Nah, you you good for sure. Like I feel like that's why I feel like ultimately, like me personally, y'all know how I am. I'm not getting knocked off no fucking square, bro. Like, it's just
Yeah,
what was gonna
yeah.
happen. I was gonna be very content with being single for however long it took. But that's just me though. Other people they feel like, oh, these women just gotta. I feel like the problem is that a lot of people feel like so and so's gotta fold to my standards because I find them attractive. So now I feel like my standards need to be who your whole persona is, and that's not who they are naturally. You feel me? So if that's not who they are naturally, you can't force them to be what you want. That's just ridiculous. So if they're not what you want, then it's just okay. Your standards is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just this individual don't fit it, like Wody said. So you just gotta simply move the fuck on, my nigga, and just hopefully you come across that person. Cause that's what I did. I didn't get mad when I had a nice conversation with a woman, I found her attractive, but ultimately found this motherfucker smoke cigarettes, got 3, 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point, I was like, I bet you already broke one fucking rule on my basic standards. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got to fully know your damn last name yet. Like, so all right, cool. I ain't mad. It is what it is. But I'm moving on. I ain't sticking around. I ain't. All right. Well, I'm gonna let it slide because this conversation was great. Nah. Oh man, she got some nice eyes. She cute. Nah. Nah. At the end of the day, the moment you start doing shit like that, if you do it from the very beginning, you're gonna do it a lot more. At some point, you'll probably get a relationship with her and build resentment because you did it so much. Nah, you don't want to get that far. At that point, you're hurting yourself.
Man, do you think most people have that same discipline?
Well, like me?
Yeah.
Fuck no. No, 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 no. I'll probably say it's about like she 10% of motherfuckers that's that discipline like me for real, for real. That's really going they once they it's first off, you gotta think about the ones that actually their standards and morals and beliefs are realistic. First off,
Mm,
that list gotta be that. Mine is that. Mine is realistic. I'm
right.
not I'm not out here saying at 32, that's how old I am. I'm not saying, hey, I need a woman that's 32 with 1 kid or no kids. I need a woman that's shaped like a Coca-Cola bottle and she all natural. I need a woman that's got long hair and it's all what I'm saying? I'm not out here naming these outlandish things that some of these dudes have on this list. And I'm expecting this woman that comes across me to fit all this. You feel me? So for me, my list is realistic. So they would first need to have a realistic standards and beliefs and morals, right?
Uh
Then
huh.
after that, they gotta be locked in on it. They gotta hold on to it. You feel me? They can't don't fold. That's their thing. As long as they don't do that, cool. But there is a very small list of men. I can't speak for women, but there's a very small percentage of men that have the discipline to stick to it no matter what. That's why we got so many of them crying.
For sure. Shout out to Jayla, man. I get a context earlier. I ain't fucking with you today, Jayla. My damn head hurting, my eyes are
Yeah,
I'm
for
having them
real.
little aches, so I definitely had to put my shades on. But we still cooling and shit. Shout out to Jayla, man. Make sure y'all join it. This might be risky Discord, man. The cousins be definitely having some dope ass conversations. Wardy. Now this is gonna be a different type of question on my ass, but I have a reason for it. So the question is, is it a privilege to have high standards? Is that a privilege to have high standards?
It depends on what like your standards are. To me, like it depends on what the standards are, if they're a privilege or not.
What you mean?
Like if it's like privileged standards, like you know what I'm saying? Like if it's like limo services and you requiring like, you know, uh some chef made meals and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, but I mean, a privilege to have high standards. I mean, I don't know who would really accept low standard or who would go into it like, you know what? I'm gonna just say fuck standards. And I'm gonna just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So I mean, I feel what you're saying though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be a standard yourself to even have those type of, you know what I'm saying, high standards. So I'm gonna still say no though. I'm gonna say
It ain't
nah.
a
It
it
ain't
ain't
no
a privilege.
privilege to have high standards. Like it's just self worth in the beginning, like we say, and then it, you know, slowly fades into keeping your
Realistic,
heart fucking protected.
that part. I think that might be the tough piece. Do you think it's privileged to have high standards, CJ? Can't hear you. Can you hear him?
Mm-mm.
Can't hear you, CJ.
You hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like that privilege word ain't it, bro. No, because the person that it's a privilege for to great to be around me to see me. Shut your ass up. Like to me, you feel like you high and mighty, man. You break an ankle or toe, you ain't working anyway. So it's just like I can't, man, because at the end of the day, you go in the same fucking dirt I'm gonna go in when we die. Like, what privilege you really got, brother? Like, what privilege you really got, lady? Like, where? Because you look good, because you smell good, because you make money. No, that shit don't matter to me. So I feel like it's not a privilege to have high standards. You're just having high standards for what we said earlier. It's more of a either you did it out of a defense mechanism because you had bad experiences for being lenient on your standards, or you just delusional in what you think that you deserve. You deserve to have this almighty human being. You feel me? So it's only those two options. But a privilege to have high standards, nah.
Okay. Okay. Sharon, what's up, good brother?
Good day, good.
Good to see
How
you.
y'all feeling today?
We good.
What
We
up?
good. How you, man?
I'm doing
What
well.
up? What up?
Appreciate
What
y'all.
up?
What up, CJ? What up, everybody? Hope everybody doing well today.
Yeah, we
Shout
doing
out to
good.
y'all.
Yeah.
We doing good. How about yourself?
Yes, I'm out here causing trouble as usual, but I am doing well.
You remember all these YouTube streets fucking with people, Sharon? Come on, bro.
Hey, I was just giving them the information that I learned over the years, and sometimes it conflicts with their lifestyle, and that's why they really get upset. To be honest.
Okay.
That's just all it is. That's just some of the information that I gathered, and sometimes it conflicts with other human beings.
Okay. I'll take it for what it's worth. So we've been kind of minding out the whole standards conversation. So I'm gonna reframe it for you because you just got here, man. And this was my premise, right? I think that what has happened from just these conversations we have, right? There are men and women that are firm on their square to not want to deal with each other for now, right? So you got the men that are holding their standards. We don't want no baby mamas, and you better not. Da da da. Da. We got the women on the other side. That's like, yo, fuck that. If you ain't made this money, da 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 da. And I think that's what's happening, Sharon. I think that over time we're gonna actually get to a place where we're about face, and we're gonna have to come back together eventually. I think both sides are going to understand this and get to it. I know. Walk down this optimism road with me. We're on the yellow brick road. I know. I know. Humor me for the conversation, right? So my question is, if you are standing on the side and you're not in the game, right? You just have your standards. You stand to yourself, right?
Mm,
The game is still being played. People are still out here getting heartbroken. They still having life experiences, right?
mm.
Do you think that over time that some concessions are gonna have to be made? Is that realistic, or should people stay on their square? That's my question for you.
No, you should absolutely stand on your square of who you are and depend on your character. Bad things is going to happen, and you got to always revert back to your to character and good character, building skills of dealing with things, having resilience, and moving forward in life and learning experiences. Not take it as a loss, but you need to take those things as lesson. And if you continue to find the same person, that means you did not learn the lesson.
So you think that the standard should remain, and you need to learn the lesson, but reset the standard every time you try it again?
Uh, Not necessarily reset. Well, I guess that's a word that we could use. They interchangeable. I would say recalibrate your situation. But You have to do some self-reflection and see what went wrong and why you got heartbroken. Were you just not paying attention to the other person so much that that's the reason why you got heartbroken? Because you like, ain't no way this ugly bitch is gonna cheat on me. So now you walking around like King Kong because you the man, and now you're not even paying attention to your mate, and then now you got cheated on. Now you heartbroken. Now you're just like F these bees for life now because of something that happened to you when you was 22 and
I like
was, you know.
that. Makes sense. That makes sense. Jalen, what's up with you? How you doing this evening?
Hey, what's up?
Chilling, chilling. What you got
I'm
going
good.
on?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. How you had that bedtime voice on? I was like, damn, so like she about to get ready to go to sleep or something. I make sure Jalen ain't out here in these streets. You heard
You're
me.
funny. Y'all will never know. Y'all will never know.
Keep it that way. That's the way it moves. So, Jalen, what you think? Do you think that when we having these conversations, do you think that the people that are standing on their standards that's not in the game, right? How do you think it's going to affect them when they have to eventually face their own reality and their own standards? What do you think happens? Do you think that they become realistic? Should they stay on those squares or should they adjust with what they now have in front of them?
Stay delusional.
Damn. Okay.
That's what stay delusional.
Tell me more.
It's
What's up,
not
Shirley?
I don't know, it's not up to every like outside people to convince that person that what they're doing is unrealistic. It's up to that person to realize it. And until they realize it, if they dumb their standards down, they're not going to be happy. Because they're coming from a delusional state based off of information from other people. So if they're not even convinced that what they're settling for is good enough for them, they're not going to be happy. So let them stay delusional.
Do you think it masks the people that are standing on their standards of squares or they're standing on their square standards? Do you think it masks, Jalen, that they've accepted that they're going to be alone? Or do you think they're hopeful?
I think they're still hopeful, but they're accepting that they're alone until they find someone.
Damn. CJ, you think that's good or bad, bro?
I'm a
You
what
say
part?
what?
What part?
The fact that that the acceptance of being alone and standing on their standard. Do you think that that's fair for them to be? Do you think that makes sense?
I think it's safe. I mean, at the end of the day, they want who they want. Hopefully, their standards ain't an outlandish thing or a superhuman. But I think if they choose to be single instead of being heartbroken or damaged by somebody, then that's their choice. So I think it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, romantic love or any form of love is a risk that you take on as a person. You could be either damaged by it or you could grow and progress from it.
Hmm.
A lot of people, when they're damaged by love, they usually just try to stay away from it or like overcorrect.
Mm. Sharon, I got a good question for you, brother. Do you think that your standards should shift based on your dating experiences, or do you think your standards should stay consistent no matter what you go through and what relationships?
Mm. Uh, do you mind if I share the screen?
Yeah, you good, bro.
Um, what I believe is that's a I gotta think right, and that's why that's like such a great question. I think your standard should be dictated by your results. It shouldn't be so delusional that it's not obtainable, but it should have some kind of. It shouldn't be easily obtainable, like you can just walk out anywhere, throw a rock, and get that, so to speak. But it also shouldn't be. so far that you gotta literally shoot amongst the stars, and then now you can say, "Hey, at least I'm around." Not like it needs to be some kind of adjustment to like, "Hey, I want Rihanna, but I gotta adjust it to actually real life. Maybe I'm gonna have to deal with somebody that sounds like Rihanna instead of look like her." You know what I'm
So
saying?
take
Like,
what you can get.
yeah, it gotta have some kind of adjustability with your actual results of what are you attracted and what is attracted to you at the same time. It gotta have some kind of deal with some truth with a little bit of delusion. Because you
A
gotta
little
have
bit of
some kind of
delusion.
delusion in yourself as well to want the greatest for yourself. Right? Because nobody's going to just allow you to be the greatest of all time, whatever thing that you're trying to do. So you got to have a little bit of delusion in yourself, but it shouldn't be so far that
You can't obtain it.
yeah.
Okay, I like that. Wardy, do you think people's high standards carry over to their high standards in dating? Do you think that people's high standards in dating carries over to other parts of their life? Or do you think they only have these high standards when it comes to dating?
Mm.
I got no questions tonight, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm gonna answer this question personally. From what
Okay.
I've seen, I mean, the standards really is, what I'm saying, just speaking points, really. You know what I'm saying? And, it's just, if you could do enough for that person to like you, then you know what I'm saying, y'all can, you know what I'm saying, start working things out. That's really how I see, like, but to answer your question, no, I don't think it, reverts to other parts of their lives. Like at this, I don't even think it's like the standards are real for the relationships. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why so many people settle for, what I'm saying, so much things that they don't want. Cause,
Damn.
the standards that just sound good type, it
Mm,
might be what you want, but I don't know if you can call it a standard if you a buckle and fold, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
like it. CJ, what you think, bro? Do you think that people high standards in dating transfers over to the actual life and their life results? Why or why not?
High standards of data transfer over into the what?
Their actual life.
As long I would say yes, because if the person's quote unquote high standards are a reflection of their personal life, and again, not something, no delusional things in there, then whenever it transfers over into like real life, it's a reflection of their real life, and whoever they're dating, hopefully they can match with those. They match those high standards, and they can be a part of what their real life is.
Okay, so you say yes. You think
Yeah,
that their standards come from the fact that their life is that way. Sharon,
yeah.
what you think?
Ask the question one more time. I was setting everything up.
Are you good, brother? So do you think that people's high standards for dating, do you think that transfers to results in their real life? Why or why not?
It can, right? The thing is that is again with the results, and can you hold up and maintain your own standards? So if you have a high standard of other people, you got to be able to hold that same high standard for yourself, because you are gonna get looked upon even more than your partner at that moment. So if you want somebody that don't smoke or drink, she'll be looking at you crazy if you pull up a Newport. It just that's what's going to happen, right? Whether she right, wrong, or indifferent about it, that's what's going to happen. And so once you're not able to hold up your own high standard of a human being, that's when that breakdown is going to look real shaky, and nobody's going to believe you, and you're not going to maintain a strong foundation with another human being if you are moving in a hypocrite type manner in your relationship.
Gotcha. So do you think in mass most people their standards match, or do you think it's not it they don't equate the same when you're talking about dating in their life?
I think people that have trouble, like legit trouble, and then they are being hypocrites in their data standards. They don't know how to maintain their own standard for themselves. That's why they
Okay.
keep pushing it on somebody else to be better. because they don't believe in themselves enough. So they keep saying, no, you should invest your money this way. You should go to the gym like this. You shouldn't eat
Mm.
like this, but yet they can't do it for themselves. So they push it on somebody else and say, see, then I help you, but you need to help yourself for that other person to actually receive it. Because what you're gonna do is, even if that person does listen to all the things you say, you get that girl in shape, you get her finances right, she buy a house. Guess who ain't gonna be in that house with that good in shape woman?
Mm. Let's go with Jalen. Do you think that
I didn't
people's
even get to
dating
answer the
standard?
question.
I'm coming to you after Jalen, love. I got you. So, Jalen, do you think that women, let's not say women, let's keep it gender neutral. Do you think people dating standards matches their life results? Or do you think that it's kind of lopsided?
Fuck no, it don't.
Say it again.
Usually never does. No, no.
Hmm. Tell me more.
Um, Men, when they say they want a fit woman, they usually not fit. Women, they want a man to make a certain amount of money, but they ain't never touched that salary in their life. Men, oh, well, I don't want her to have kids, but you got kids. Women, oh, I want him to have a house, but you ain't never touched a mortgage in your life. So what are you talking about? So yeah, I don't think it usually matches up.
Damn. Okay. 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 I'm gonna put a pin in it. I'm gonna come back to that. Let's go get Saudi
Really be
here.
trying to get the
You
women
can
in the
go to the
world to
next
hate
question.
her.
I'm good.
Okay. So, Jalen, do you think this is why people are finding why they find it so hard to get what they're looking for in the dating market is because their real lives don't match their standards? Do you think that's the reason why they can't find it?
No, I think people end up finding what they're looking for in the end if they're not like over the top with what they're looking for. It's
Mm-hmm.
just when they get what they ask for, they realize how much they either weren't prepared or they didn't want it in the first place.
Oh, got you. That kind of makes sense. I can see that. I can see that. Damn. Hmm. I think about that. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Woody, you can come out and come back in if it's kind of slowing up for you a little bit. Like I said, we'll still be here, brother. I think this is dope comments. I want to get to one comment I saw in particular. I wanted to get y'all opinion on it because I think it was an interesting perspective. I don't know if I've ever thought about this. Shout out to Chanel's reality. She said they date their fantasy, but they marry the realistic person. Hmm. I kind of like that thought process. CJ, do you think that's true? Do you think people date their fantasy and marry what's real?
I don't really get the statement like that. They date their fantasy. I, 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 I can understand the fantasy part because some people might come across like they want to experience 50. They might be a great want to experience a 50 Shades of Grey guy, or they want to date something outside their race. That might be their fantasy, but dating realistic, I think that's just them getting all that fun out their system, and now they settling down for whoever they ran into.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Because I think the fantasy part, I think that's the part that makes sense to me. Because folks want to just date all type of random shit or do whatever, but they marry the realistic person. Was the realistic person already in existence to them, like in their mind, like this is who I want to marry, but I want to party with the fantasy things first. Like, I think that's how I'm viewing that statement.
Okay.
Is the dating part even necessary?
Ooh. Tell me more.
I'm saying it seemed like that's where you encounter the most fakeness and like, you know what I'm saying? Like people put on the most show in the dating part. And then once y'all get past that, then you know what I'm saying, y'all can get to the building and get into the, you know what I'm saying, the meat and potatoes of the relationship. But it seemed like the dating is just to woo and like, oh yeah, woo de woo. Like You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like I
Um,
got to show you to the extent I can take you to, and then we can be here. We can vibe here, but this is everything that I can do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems so fake to me. Like, I just want to skip that and get to the building part and get into, you know what I'm saying, the shit that makes sense, and then build on the other shit after. You know what I'm saying? Like, not build on it after, but like as we're doing it, you know what I'm saying, we building on that and that, because it seemed like in the dating part, like you still don't even know your partner. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't even know your partner until you get past that part, the dating part.
like it. I like it. Shout out to Commendum. That's a lot of M's. Commendum. Commendum. I use it on Super Chat, man, but I'm always here, so she was like, "Why not show some love?" Shout out to the game, man. They be wild in the chats, but I think Wardy, to your point, bro, maybe that's why the standards are out of whack, because dating sets that unrealistic fantasy wooing era, and so it's easy to kind of lose track of what you want for a long time, because your short-term needs is, let me just fulfill this fantasy so I can be a little bit more picky. But when you start thinking about it, okay, how does this shit translate over from the person I'm dating to marrying? But I will say this: I think that dating, in my mind, is still a natural progressive step to marriage. So I would still say they're intertwined, just in my opinion, right? But I think when she put up the comment, that's why I really wanted to mine that out and see, like, do we date our fantasy and marry what's real, and why aren't they the same?
I think that goes in. I think it's per that this conversation that turned into this, right? I think that goes with the standard situation, right? So if your standard, you cannot keep up with your own standard, then yeah, you're gonna date your fantasy, because you're not gonna be able to keep your fantasy because you are, faking it till you make it. And then
Mm.
eventually your fantasy is going to see for who you are, and then you're going to get, eventually have to get knocked down to your realistic data market. But if you're able to maintain this high standard of whatever your fantasy level is, whatever that thing is, because
Mhm.
everybody has their different levels of it. But if you are able to move within that fantasy lane, and that's truly you, you will be dating your fantasy, and that realistic person will be a fantasy person. So you yourself got to maintain it first. And this is why, anytime I talk to young men, it's like, yo, take that mask off. Be who you are. You do not want to attract something that you are not, because you are
Right.
not going to be able to maintain it. And then you're going to have a broken heart. You're going to be talking about, they only wanted me because I had this Benz. Well, that's the only thing that you was concentrating on. You made sure that when the let out happened, that you was in your car. You made sure everybody see you go in and out your car. You made sure that that was the vocal point of all of your content on Instagram. Like, so you did that, you curated that, but you're not really maintaining this facade that you put up of yourself. And now nobody actually know who you are. Then now you're confused. So you got to be able to maintain who you are at all times. Take that mask off, God damn it.
I said remove the mask. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the SPS podcast. We appreciate y'all being here. So, Saudi, do you think that people are dating their fantasy to try to marry what's realistically compatible to them?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
Tell me more.
I don't know how to answer the question. I'm still. You can
Processing
skip
it.
me.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Jalen, do you think that's true?
Repeat the question.
Do you think that people are dating in fantasy and they're trying to marry what's realistic?
Mm.
I don't get that question. I don't get that question.
Meaning they trying to date the stripper, but in reality,
They
they
want to
want
marry.
to
Yeah.
marry the nurse. I don't, you know,
I feel
whatever.
like in that sense, then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with Side. Yeah.
That makes sense. Shout out to Lauren. She's always gonna come through it. The bombshell question. She said, "Who caps and dating the most, men or women?" We're gonna go straight down the panel. CJ, who caps most in dating, men or women? Let's do this.
Am I assuming cap as in lie?
Yep.
Oh boy.
We here
Shit.
now. We here now. We here now.
Who caps in dating the most?
Men.
Just get these
A
5
You
women
chest
got it,
in.
hurt.
CJ. You got it, CJ.
I'm gonna
It's
say
okay.
women. I'm gonna say women.
You got this.
I'm gonna
Women,
say
tell me
women
why. Why you think women cap more?
because I know it's men.
At least you was honest, CJ. That's the you know what? I fuck with you today for being honest.
I'm gonna help you out,
No, it's.
CJ.
I think it's definitely men for sure. I think men are flexing and bullshit. They'll say anything to get the woman for real.
Yeah.
Damn, Lauren, that's fucked up. But nah, yeah, it's. I think it's men. Men.
I think dudes be cap. What you think, Sharon? Who caps
Uh,
more in dating, men or women?
I think more. I think is women. Women are capping more than men. Women, they would tend to say things like they've been through it, even though we could tell by the places that I tell you that you haven't been to a place like this or been in a car like this or such and such, especially if you're on the upper echelon situation. You could just tell. And majority of the time, women will act like that's something that they're used to, when in reality it only happened once. It's not what you're used to. It's something that you experienced before, but it's not necessarily that you're used to. Because I know for a fact you let the dude that just bought some Eases Jesus and a Netflix password, and y'all did the damn thing. So I think majority of the time women be capping hard.
I got it. I got it. Wardy, what you think? Who's capping more in dating? Men or women? And why?
I'm gonna say this. I think men cap more, but women cap about the more like the more severe stuff. You know what I'm saying? They cap about that more. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Tell me more. What you mean by that? Because I'm gonna get back to that super chat. She is hilarious, by the way. The SBG gang is funny, yo. Y'all always a good time though. But tell me more, Wardy.
Like CJ said, like men cap, you know what I'm saying, like, about the smallest any, you know what I'm saying, but women be capping about, bodies and not having bodies and you know what I'm saying, and different things that's gonna be, I love yous, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they cap about shit that's like that's deep and hurtful, like, you know what I'm saying?
So you think their cap is a little bit more weighted than a man's dating cap?
Right. I think we
Hmm.
cap about, you know what I'm saying, like you said, little stuff to, you know what I'm saying. But I don't think we cap about I don't think we can cap about things like that's, you know what I'm saying,
I
that's
mean,
like that.
so what about when a man caps about having a wife?
Caps about having a wife?
Yeah. He's like,
Nigga,
I ain't dating nobody. He got a whole family. Yeah, so I don't know if we
Niggas out
can
here
say
doing that, Sharon?
absolutely doing that.
In
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
mass. In mass.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sure
Mm-hmm.
enough
Yo,
is.
denying the
um,
fam.
Deny
the
the
not
whole
the family
family.
is crazy, bro.
The whole thing. They like, I'm
That is
single.
beyond me.
That starts
Why we gotta go
SBI.
to the hell? Well, the way how my crib is set up, you know what I'm saying? I got my things is a little messed up, so I gotta
That is fucking
Nah,
hilarious.
but you gotta deal with this. I don't got no boyfriend yet. You can come over to my house and then you hog tied and rope tied and then rob for everything you got.
absolutely.
So it's the same.
I agree with that part as well. But I think I think besides like the super liars, like the ones that's denying actual other human beings involved in their life, I think women would just lie more in the dating phase because they're trying to protect themselves.
Yeah.
They are very afraid of being vulnerable with them, especially with somebody that they like. They get a little bit more nervous, so they try to be reserved and act like they don't care. They try to wait an extra hour to text you. They want to play the game. Men are just, when they doing it, they just being a dick about it. I'm gonna wait 4 hours because I read it in this book. That's gonna make her go crazy type shit, right? So he not necessarily capping. He got more of a strategy to what what women would consider that men are lying about. So I think that's just a man asshole strategy to be the not nice guy thing. But I think women actually how they feel is from in the dating scene and like, hey, let me pull back because I don't want him to think I'm sweating him.
Saudi, what you think? Who more cap when it comes to this dating? Men or women, and why?
You already know. I already answered it. I feel like men. I feel like they gonna say whatever they can say to get you to that spot where, like Sharon said, to get them to be a little bit more vulnerable, but then they
Mm,
can't keep up that momentum. And then when they
Mm,
can't keep up the momentum, now you the problem.
mm.
okay.
That's a good one too.
Damn.
That's a
Okay.
good one. I
All
like
right.
that one.
Jalen, what you got? Who capping more in this dating on these dating streets? What they doing?
The men.
Tell me
The men
more.
be listen. I done told y'all the lies y'all come up with, and y'all didn't say not cap once, all right? And I came up with a lot. Men be lying about their height, their age, their promiscuity. They be like, "Oh yeah, I can handle a monogamous relationship." Meanwhile, he out here fucking every woman down the street, up the street, round the way, and then all of a sudden he got kids outside the relationship. He be lying about having kids already. He be lying about having a place. He be lying about being homeless. He be lying about having money and really don't have money. He be lying about having a car. He be lying about just lying about stupid
Okay,
shit.
we get it.
Not okay, we get it,
Okay,
but
we get
no,
it.
she clocking the T though. She like it's true.
Damn.
So when he come to me, he said he was 6 foot. He come to meet you. He only 5'8". Like how he lying about that? You saying he
It's a
putting
lie,
lifts?
Sharon. It's a
You saying
lie.
he putting lifts in his shoes?
I guess so.
No, he rounded that shit up. That's what he did.
Man, rounding up the height is nasty work.
And
Fellas,
don't
don't be out
tell him
here rounding up your
and
height,
don't
dog.
tell him what you looking for up front. He gonna lie to fit that
Oh,
list.
he gonna check all them
Ooh.
boxes if you tell him.
He like,
Ooh.
Oh
hey,
yeah,
listen,
I
I,
can cook.
I was 6 feet, but I was doing so much. I was doing so much leg presses that my spine compressed. I've been at the gym so much. I lost.
Now y'all just dragging it. Y'all
No, but
dragging
I
it
want to hit
down.
on something that Jay said, and it
Sure.
follows up to what Sharon said about why women sometimes are a little bit more reserved. Because if
Mhm.
you tell a man too much of what it is that you're looking for, he's gonna be a chameleon and do everything that you just said, and he's
Mm,
not even that.
that
Hmm.
sucks.
That's some real shit. Shout out to
So
Milk
how do you
Mommy.
answer that question? My bad, but how do you answer that question if you know you in the field, you networking and you vibing? I'm like, damn, baby, what you looking for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what like, you know, how can I accommodate you
Mm-mm,
and your, you know what I'm
mm-mm.
saying, what you got going on? Well, what's up? Like, you just gonna
I'm
be like,
looking to see
I
whatever you
don't know
bringing,
what
and
I'm looking for.
I'll make sure that it's good for me. Whatever you
What
bring,
happened?
be yourself.
Mm.
I said the answer is going to be I'm looking for whatever you trying to bring, and if it fits what I'm looking for, we can continue. If not, you'll know. I'm not about to give you my specific list.
Hey, Woody, good brother. For context, Jalen definitely she has a psychology thing going on. We've been down this road with her. You know, she's a Jedi mind tricker, but she good at what she do.
Hey, but I ain't gonna
We
lie.
call
If
Triple
a
J
woman
for
was
no
to
reason.
ask me, hey, Strada, if a woman was to ask me, what should I say? I would say you. Tell him you. If he's to say, hey, what are you looking for in a man? Say you. Why you think I'm on this goddamn date?
It does. It definitely cuts out the
So you,
bullshit.
so
Like I
I'm
said,
saying, but then
keep it
if
life
I was,
short.
if she say me, I'm be like, so on your last date, you was looking for me and him.
We don't need to talk about the last date.
I'm just
Absolutely
saying,
not.
nah, we do though, cause like you know what I'm saying. But like, I'm just saying, like you can't, nah,
See,
you can't play me
that's
like
gonna
that.
open the
Like you
door
looking
for
for
her to
me,
want to
like
talk
nah, that's
about your
just game.
past. I
That's
don't
just
think you
Right.
want
game.
that.
That's just
I don't think.
game.
I, I, I'm just. If you ready to talk about your past, she might be ready to talk about hers. Some of y'all
Okay.
ain't ready to talk about what y'all been through. So just leave the past where it's at
Right.
We can move forward.
I said,
I agree. I think that's probably the worst thing. I think in some instances I could understand why exes come up, but I don't want to know about homeboy, to be honest.
I want to know what went wrong and what's fucked up. Cause like I mean, if there's something that I feel like that's gonna be a problem with me as well, like I can go ahead and hit the exit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck?
Give me an
What was fucked
example
up?
of it of that worked out for you when you spoke to a girl in the dating phase and she told you exactly something that you was like, oh, that's too toxic. I can't deal with.
I mean, I'm saying like in my younger phase, in the dating phase, I was into the toxic girls. So shit, the more toxic you got me, like oh shit, girl, there you
So,
talking now.
all right, so
So
you
I
proving
had
the
to get
point
up
that
out of
that
there.
shit don't work.
Yeah, I had to get up out of there. You feel me?
I just never
And
heard
you can tell I ain't lying. Look.
Hey, I just never heard of an instance for either person to say, "Hey, they start talking about their exes and they gave them a red flag from what they did with their ex, and that made them stop." I never heard of a scenario when it worked out that way.
I mean, you might not stop, but you can get in your head, like you might. I mean, if you just in the dating phase, if it ain't, if you just in that portion of it, you know what I'm saying. You might, you never know where it's gonna go in the first place. So, you're trying to see, like,
And
the
that's
more
exactly,
information you can get, the more you can damn, you know what I'm saying, make your decision off. You know
and
what I'm
that's what
saying?
I'm saying. Well, so asking that question about the ex is not going to actually benefit you at all.
I
Nope.
mean, it's not gonna hurt neither though. The
he
Absolutely,
said
it
it ain't
will.
gonna
if
hurt
I
either.
know, the
But you
more I
gotta
know, the
you gotta
more I
prove.
know.
But that's what I'm saying. But where's the proof in that pudding that it works for other people where they ask about the exes and that actually saved them from a heartbreak relationship? When did it actually work?
I'm saying that might be the reason why they have the
Not
heartbreak
might.
because they ain't asking about the exes and finding out what went wrong and where you know what I'm saying, where
I,
your strengths and weaknesses are in relationships with
I
people
understand the
because they could just.
possibilities and the probability, right? I understand that. However, is no real tangible example where it actually works out that way. I understand that it's always a hypothetical. But in real life, that person is that person, that ex is that ex, and me and that person is not the same
Yeah,
at
that's
all.
true indeed. We not the same. That's true indeed. That's definitely true indeed.
So I just don't know where it really applies into vetting a human being.
I mean,
That's
it
real.
might, to each his own. You feel me?
Hmm.
That's real. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the SPS podcast. Shout out to the super chat. Milk Mommy said, "Is this name easy to pronounce, Strata?" Yes, I can pronounce Milk Mommy. Yo, y'all are hilarious, man. Y'all make this enjoyable, man. Just to let y'all know, like I said, I definitely got on shades because I'm having one of them days to where body feeling a little weak, um, eyes straining. You know what I'm saying? We kicking it though. You know what I'm saying? Like I like being here with y'all. That makes the aches not ache as bad, but it's one of them days
Damn,
for me.
you showing your age.
Oh no, it ain't my age. You know what it is. You know exactly why.
It's
It
the
ain't age.
cataracts.
Not even the cataract. You feel me? But you know, if you know, you know. But just know I love what I do with y'all, man. Straight up, it makes it a little easier to
Salute,
deal with.
salute.
Yeah, that part. But yo, so back to like the original part of this. Do you think if you are a person that has these higher standards, let's just call them higher standards and beliefs on the other people, do you think it's best for you to stay on the porch and out the way? If you are looking at the field, so let's say you're looking at the dating pool and you like, I'm gonna stand my ground. Do you think it's better for those people to stay on the porch and out of the dating pool completely? Or do you think that they should be way more vigilant in finding what they want because it's so specific? Which side of the fence do they fall on? Should they be patient and wait it out? Or should they be more vigilant because of these standards?
Let the ladies
Let's
answer
go.
first. Let the ladies answer first.
Yeah, let's go Jalen, Saudi, and then we'll get the fellas.
Yeah, stay on the porch
Why so?
because you already know what you're looking for. Stay on the porch. The people who don't know what they're looking for, trying to figure it out, those are the ones that are actively dating like frequently or should
Mm,
be because they're trying to figure it out in real time what they want and what they don't want because I guess they haven't figured it out and they need the experience. You, on the other hand, if you already know specifically what you're looking for, be patient and, it'll come if it's not too outlandish. I feel like a lot of people have found their person that way when they're being disciplined and in that like period of their discipline, they find somebody on the exact same page as them
mm,
because that's the energy that they're giving. They're not just in a random population of people trying to find it.
okay. So
Hmm.
do you think the people that are still trying to figure it out, do you think they're fucking up the dating pool for other people? What should
That's
they do?
life. I mean, what should they do?
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's wise for them to figure it out while they're still dating? Like, do you think that's wise
Yeah,
if
you
they?
can't. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You can't avoid heartbreak. There's gonna be people in the pool who gonna break your heart. It is what it is. Especially if you're young, of course, jump off the porch. But if you're the anomaly of young people and you already know, then stay off the porch, stay disciplined, keep your head down, and you'll find somebody.
Like it. Saudi, same question. If you know you got these senders, and you know that the pool ain't looking quite right, do you think that they should jump off the porch and vigilantly chase their standards and their person, or do you think they should kind of sit back and watch the field a little bit more?
I don't know. I feel like it could be a little bit of both because you can wait, but if you you can wait, but if you're not in a area necessarily where you can get those results, I feel like you do have to be more. What's the word you use? Belligerent.
Vigilant,
Yeah,
vigilant. Okay, so you said it's
because
both. Which
everything just not gonna fall in your lap. You're gonna have to work for it in a certain extent. So you got to put
okay?
yourself out there more.
So what does the work for look like? So like let's say, y'all saying, be a little bit more mindful and modest. What does that look like to let's use a woman? What does that look like the way she's holding up, she's standing on her 10 with her standards? What does that look like for her as she's out in the world? Like what does that realistically look like?
I'm gonna let Jalen answer the question first
Okay.
because I need for you to reword the question for me.
You good. Jalen, so what does that look like when you say, stay reserved, stay off the porch for women? What would that look like for a woman that's holding true to her standards? How does that show up to her? What advice would you give her practically?
What advice should I give? Fuck. Um, Stick to your goals, whatever you're trying to achieve in life.
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of people chasing love, they don't achieve their goals and they kind of regret it in the end.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So, whatever goals you're trying to achieve in your life, go do that shit. The love will come at some point.
Okay. Do you think that there should be a time limit on their dating standards?
No? Wait. Elaborate?
Got you. Yeah. So let's say your standards are here, right? You got a
Uh-huh.
single woman. Her standards are here. She knows she want to date again and get with a dude, but right now her standards are here. Do you think over time these standards should change, either lower or higher? Like, do you think they should change, or you think she should consistently stay with her standard until she finds what she wants?
I think it should adapt to your lifestyle at that point. I don't think lower or hires should be the like focal point. I think as much as you progress and grow in your life,
Mm,
your requirements should change with that.
Facts.
okay, I like that. That's solid. That's solid. Wardy, what you think, bro? You got your high standards. You looking at the dating field. Do you hop off the porch with vigilance, or should you kind of fall back and just be a little bit more reserved to see how the field play out?
Um, I don't really see how you can find what you're looking for if you ain't in the field. Like if you ain't at least out there to receive it. If you just stand back reserved, like, So I think you have to be in the field. If you know what I'm saying, that's what I feel.
Okay. What does that look like in the field holding your standard? How does that show up?
I mean, like we saying, we networking and talking and politicking, and if someone start checking off these the basic standards, then then you can maybe pursue something a little more serious, maybe what I'm saying,
Excuse me, bro.
and continue to see if it's it, and if it's not, then yeah.
Move around. I like it. I like it. Sharon, what you think? You got standards.
Mm-hmm.
You looking at the field. Would you
Mm,
tell somebody to hop off the porch with vigilance, or to
mm.
kind of watch it a little more and see how it progresses?
I really believe that it should be neither. I think people that want to find a dating market, they need to find a way to curate a group of friends that they are willing to date. So this way you can actually know who the person is for real. Because it's nothing like you being a friendship. You know who she popping off and she know who you popping off, and she's going to be more honest when it start off as friends, and you can actually see the person without that mask on, because there's no
Right.
intentions on like faking it till you make it and impressing you. They just being your friend. So I think you should curate a situation where y'all are in a position to be honest with each other, and in this way you could actually choose somebody of good character instead of just, hey, she has a fat ass.
Ah,
So that's
got
what I
you.
think people should do.
Got you. Got you. I like that. That actually makes sense. So you saying that a network of friends should be the pool you choose from versus strangers in the field?
Absolutely. This way
Okay.
you can actually get to know the person honestly. The
Now I
person's
got a
not
follow up for
afraid.
that.
They're not afraid to actually tell you that, yeah, I'm dealing with such and such. You know what kind of men she's into. You know, she popped it up too much. Did she do something extra free that you are against? And this way you can actually say, hey, damn, I thought you'll get to really choose what is comfortable for you, because you'll know what is her past and essentially what is your future.
Got you. So I got a question for you. If you're starting in your friend pool to find and you're dating, do you think your standards should slide and give more grace as you get to know your friends and that network better? Do you think that should move you off your standard more or less?
Now, I think that should confirm your standard,
Okay.
because now you can start to have people that's in your circle, especially of the opposite sex, that is a part of your characteristics that you enjoy, a part of the standards that you wish to have for a mate, because you always had a game to get to know the person before you actually, like what was saying, it don't make no sense of us dating, right? If I know you for a year or two, I know who your character is and what you all about. We don't even got to date. Hey, we together now. Let's do this. Let's take it serious. And in 2 years, if everything's going well the way how it should, let's go ahead and get married. And after those 2 years and 5 years, let's go and have children, because you already know who that character. You know what that character is now. Now you just got to see if it's going to work in a specific relationship between y'all two. So I say make it, deal with that person for another 2 years, see if it actually could blossom into something bigger, because that could change. Y'all might not be compatible in something else, right? That's always a
Right.
possibility. So that's how I think you should go ahead and find your suitable mate. A lot of the times, your suitable mate is one of your friends in the first place.
Oh, okay. Okay, I like it. CJ, what you think, bro? You got your standards, you're looking at the field. You hop off the porch with vigilance, or you gonna kind of fall back and watch and see how this thing play out?
All right, so technically speaking, I kind of do what Shiraz said. I more so just be friends with the ladies. And it's not, but for me, it's no like it's not a strategy or a method. He used it more so as if like this is a strategy or a method that they're purposely doing.
Mm,
Me, I just casually be cool with like, I only got like a small group of male friends. Majority of the friends I got are females. So I'm casually just cool and friendly with them. And then at some point I'll get cool with one where I don't know so much about them that I'm like, all right, cool. There's something there. Then,
mm,
there's been times where it progresses to something more than before you know it, we're in a relationship, which is virtually how every woman I've dated has been. That's pretty much how it happened.
mm.
But I knew them literally before I got with them. So there was no reason to backpedal or I get with them and now I'm dating a stranger. You know what I'm saying? There
Mm-hmm.
wasn't no real wiggle room for them to
Yeah.
like hide or lie about anything because initially they were pretty much an open book because we were on the grounds of just being cool with each other. We were just friends. So you had
Right.
no reason to really hide anything, you know? So I would
Mm.
say for me, I did it as a natural thing, but I would actually agree with how Sherrod said that it should be actually a method that you use where you just friend zone, but not friend zone. You're just
Right.
really just being cool with them, and then at some point you acknowledge that all right, this one, you know what I'm saying, and then
Right.
you kind of go from there.
That's fair. I like that. I like that. We're gonna start back with the ladies again. This question, this question, you can have the option to answer it personally, or you can keep it general. Like I said, I ain't trying to get messy. My I have headache, so y'all ain't gotta get messy. Yeah, my head hurts a little bit. But the question is this: do you believe high standards can cost you a relationship? Let's start with Jalen and then Saudi. Do you think your standards can cost you or ruin a relationship?
Yeah, sure, it could cost you one.
In what ways?
Um, you probably lose out on somebody that you needed and not necessarily wanted. Like, and obviously you want that person, but they were the best for you in your life at that point.
Hmm. Tell me more. What does that look like in a real relationship? Like, how does that show up?
They weren't necessarily what you were looking at or attracted to, but over time you kind of grew an attraction. But because your standards are on a different spectrum, you can't necessarily appreciate that person for what they have to offer. So you
Damn.
don't really care for that relationship. And you indifferent either way, whether you got it or not.
Ooh. How often do you think that happens, Jalen? Do you think that happens a lot? Do you think that our standards are in the way of good relationships?
Not gonna lie, I think that happens to men a lot.
Ooh. Why would you think men heavily
Y'all
over
always
women?
got a story about that one that got away.
Okay. And you think they got away because our standards were shifting?
Because of you. Whatever you did. Because of you.
That's crazy work.
That's not
That's
crazy work.
That's crazy work.
diabolical.
It's not. How?
That's
Yeah.
crazy work.
Walk it down, CJ. Why you don't agree with it?
I don't think majority of them is just because of you, because of the man. I don't think that was the case. It could have been a mutual thing where I think in more cases than not, from experience and from people, that it was just a mutual thing where it was just right person, wrong time. That's how I think a lot of those situations are. Yeah, they got away, but hell, I've heard stories from my own dad where it was the right person in the wrong time, but it wasn't necessarily just him. Like he fucked up or he was the problem and nothing like that. It was just both of them knew that hey, damn it, if only we saw each other at a different time frame. And it is what it is. But just downright putting the gravity of the weight of the reason behind a good one got away was the man's fault. No,
I'm not saying it's the man. I'm just saying the individual. You know what? Whether it's the woman that said the man got away, whatever. You, the individual, it was on you mainly why it didn't work.
Mm.
Why is that? Like, I mean, I'm saying just say if it didn't work because like, you started out and my standards, like, the standards was there, and then like over time, I mean, the situation went a different direction. So am I still is it still on me? If you
Yeah.
didn't.
Yes. What are y'all not getting? Yeah.
No, I wait. I was agreeing with him when I said yeah, because I feel like I fuck with what Jalen was saying. I feel like it could be both because sometimes you could get in situations and you become a better person and your standards change, and sometimes your partner could be complacent. So that can return in the relationship because it's like if we're not growing together, then it ain't no need for us to be together.
so whose
Right.
fault in your scenario that you just gave? Whose fault would it be? The person's whose standards have changed, or the person that who was complacent?
I feel like it's the person who's complacent because when you're in a relationship, you're working to be a better unit.
Mm.
So we're gonna work together every day to become better. Who wants to sit there and just be the same? Like if you just want to be the same, then I don't know. I don't want that. I want someone that we can work together to work to make each other better. Because I feel like just your life goal, you're working to always grow and learn and to be better, not to be complacent.
Mm.
Facts.
Mm.
Hey, if I had to meet Rihanna, she's gonna be the one that got away. So I guess I gotta agree. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, he's stuck on the Rihanna. Saw the concert. I never got that damn number.
Ugh.
Like,
Damn it, you gotta wait. No, that's funny. That is hilarious. Shout out to the chat, man. Y'all been holding us down. We're gonna keep going around robin with the question. We got one more super chat that came through. Shout out to Kim West for the $2 super chat. She said, "Strata, are you employed? I mean, in a relationship? I am both.
I'm about to
I'm
say
gainfully employed.
option C.
Yeah, I'm gainfully employed, man. I got a great career job. I work in the pharmaceutical industry. I'm also an entrepreneur. Do DJ services. I got a store that's opening up pretty soon, a hair and beauty supply store. I'll give y'all the
Talk
online link
that
when we're
talk.
ready.
Talk that talk.
Yeah, like I said, the soft opening is coming up, man. And I got a beautiful woman that I love, and she loves me. Like I said, I found it. So it's a beautiful thing. We got our steps. We're working towards marriage now. You know what I'm saying? We got some tangible steps and goals we striving for. And I'll let y'all know. We might live stream the wedding type shit. You know
I'm
what
Hey,
about to.
I'm
I'm about to
saying?
say I'm waiting for the invite. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get to the
We gonna
wedding.
turn it up, man. I'm rooting for. We got this. I think we good though, man. Um, yeah, I actually am hiring too, pumps in the dump. I'm looking for somebody to work the front desk. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we try to get these storehouses together. But again, it's gonna be a hair and beauty supply store. It'll be a hybrid between a salon shop that happens in the back as well as nails going on in the front. But we sell our own personalized store bundles, our own hair bundles. We have our own brand. We got 5 different types of body styles. We got everything from the lengths of 10 to 24 inches. I actually know my hair, y'all. Like I had to really, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot, but we getting there, man. All praises be. So, Wardy,
yeah.
can you say that standards have, or do you think they can ruin a relationship?
Mm, I mean, I think it's how you implement or you know what I'm saying. If you nagging, what's going on with my screen? I got
You keep on
fireworks and
making. You keep on making the hand
Yeah, it's the
motion.
iPhone. So if you do certain motions, it'll do all
oh
types of
word.
wild stuff. You good, bro? Talk
Okay.
through
All right,
it.
my bad. That shit threw me off. But
Yeah, you
yeah, I
straight.
think it's like how you communicate that. If it's like your standards is, you know what I'm saying, for your lady to be a certain size and you just keep, hey girl, you need to be down to this size by this time, you da da da, then it could be, you know what I'm saying, like become overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? I can see how it could become overwhelming if that was the case or something like that. Or vice versa, how, you know what I'm saying? If it's just a nagging situation to try to get your point across, yeah, I believe your standards can be communicated improperly. I don't believe the standard itself can, because I
Oh,
believe that's how you got the person. That person fetch your standards. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
do you
Mm.
think how important do you think it is to reinforce the standards once you gotten that person? Let's walk down that path a little bit. How does that work? What does that look like?
I mean, if you kind of got with that person, then they kind of are like within your standards, right?
Uh huh.
Like pretty much. So, I mean, I guess y'all can talk about it at a certain point, what your standards are, or what you know what I'm saying. But I mean, I really don't know, G. I mean, I really don't know for this. For I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah,
I don't know how, you know what I'm saying, how that would work or how that would look. You know what I'm saying?
that's real. I like that. I
Mm.
like that. I could take it. Like you said, man, I think that that's the beauty of these conversations, bro. Like, I want to get back to a place in these communities to where it's okay to say that's a good question. I need to think about that more. I don't know. I think
Right.
far too often in life, not even on panels, but in life, people are afraid of that. I don't know, right?
Mm.
It scares the shit out of them because you have to stand in your uncertainty right then in the moment. And so I think that a lot of people are hard headed as hell and their ego are having fucked up. And so you'll be taking stance when in honesty you have no fucking clue. And it's okay not to know. It's just not okay to stay not knowing. Right. And
Right.
this conversation is fine. But I think far too often in life, people really don't know what the hell their standards are. They're saying something, they repeat and they're regurgitating some shit they heard. And so what happens is like over enough time, you become warped because you can't admit that you just don't know. I don't know what my standard is. I haven't thought about that often, right? And so you find yourself making decisions based off the fact that you truly don't know. You just ain't admitted it. So again, I just wanted to enhance that water because you'd be surprised at how many people can't just say, "Oh, it's good. I don't know."
Right. I mean, cause yeah, I can't answer that question for you right now.
I like that. I like it. Sharon, what you think? Do you think that your standards can or is it more probable than possible that your standards can fuck up a relationship?
No, I don't think my standards could mess up a relationship. I think it's important for myself and for my mate to understand the standards that I want for our relationship. I expect you to go outside looking a certain way. I expect you to represent me a certain way. I'm going to represent you a certain way. I'm not going to allow certain things that bother you into our circumference where you feel less than a woman. I don't want to be in a situation where we go somewhere and you laughing at somebody jokes harder than mine. We got a problem. You mess with my insecurities. You can't be dying laughing. That nigga ain't that funny. Shit. I don't give a damn if Kevin Hart. You ain't gonna be laughing at his jokes like that. No, absolutely not. And I'll make sure if I'm keeping my head on the straight and narrow, I won't be on the swivel. Just like, oh my god, babe, look at her dress, trying to act like I'm some. I'm trying to say I'm acting like I'm Strada and I know her head. Oh, you look at that 24-inch baby, and no damn well I have no idea about no goddamn hair, right? But I'm trying to sneak a peek, right? So, and I don't want her to feel insecure about that situation, right? So, no. So I think having standards is a clear indication of what boundaries that me and that other person should be not attempting to cross on purpose. If it happens by accident, then you got to check it and say, hey, that made me feel a certain way. So this way now we know it's a new level of understanding because things is going to happen. That's the whole
That's a
part
fact.
of growing with somebody. You're gonna find out something new. Oh shit. You mean to tell me for 5 years you don't like avocado? When was
Right.
this?
Right. Where
You,
they
you
come
know,
from?
so it's things that's just gonna pop up. Or that person might not, they all of a sudden get allergic to honey all of a sudden for whatever reason. They was eating it fine, and then now they grow up something
That's a
happened with their
problem.
body. So so I think standards is a important part to maintain a healthy relationship for both of y'all to know the standard.
I like it. I like it. CJ, same question to you. Do you think that standards, higher standards, can potentially ruin relationships?
I'm gonna say no because if you had higher standards, if you had those standards in the relationship, then once you got in the relationship, those standards can do nothing else but I guess increase over time. Because like Saudi said, you're in a relationship with the plans on improving or getting better. That would make sense that the standards would also have some level of improvement or upgrade or something at some point for both sides, or just you
Mm,
two wanting to be better. So I don't think that would ruin the relationship. I think what would ruin the relationship is if, again, like Saudi said, if that person chooses to just be the same while
right.
you are improving yourself and improving your standards, you just being complacent. So if one person's trying to be better, and not only are they trying to be better, they're actually making good progress in that, and you over here still on level one, yeah, that's gonna
Right.
ruin the relationship, not the
So that's
standards
gonna go.
themselves.
That's a
So
fact.
can the standards change to where they're like it's moving the goalposts?
Mm.
I would
Like they just
say
keep.
I would say if you're in a relationship at some point, every time you achieve one goal, you're trying to move up to the next goal. That's how most relationships are. So usually when we talk about moving the goalposts, that's just in arguments in the debate, especially in this YouTube environment, people just kind of do that just to get their point across, just to make themselves sound like they're winning an argument when instead they're not facing the facts about the argument. But when it comes to relationships, moving the goalposts, I think that's a part of the relationship. You want to move the goalposts. Like, all right, this is our goal for this first 6 months. Boom, we hit it. All right, we got to move it up now. We need to go up now. We can't go backwards. So I think in terms of relationship, that would make sense.
Mm. Shout out to Lauren Match. Chris Brown said we'll be together when he's done doing his thing. He knows I'm his muse. I'm looking for him, or he been looking for me his whole life. He just don't know it for sure. That is hilarious. Shout out to Lauren, man. Keep hope alive. One more super chat that we're gonna welcome Ivan to the show. Ken West said, any remote jobs available, Strata? Not as of yet. I could definitely keep you tapped in. I think that Sharon gave a pretty great link for people looking for remote jobs called Dice. So if anybody's watching this, again, we always dropping jewels even past what we talking about. So shout out to Sharon for bringing that knowledge to the forefront. So if you all are looking for remote work, try Dice. I think we dropped Indeed in the chat. That's a great place to start. I
And then
think the
also,
pen.
I think
Go
the
ahead.
company name is I want to say TTEC. They have a lot of remote jobs available too.
Okay. Absolutely. Again, man, we definitely gonna feed and edify while we get through our topics. Ivan, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
We
How's it
good. We
going?
good. How you?
All right, I'm good.
What you think about the topic so far, brother?
I just connected back to it. What was it on?
Oh, we was talking about standards, and so the premise of the entire show was I saw an uptick of people that are hypercritical of the other gender, and they rested on their standards, right? So they have their preferences for what they will and won't date. I think that over time we're gonna eventually have to about face and deal with each other in a certain way. And so right now we're trying to mine out, are standards realistic? Are they higher? Are they lower? Do they shift within a relationship? So my question to you, I'll ask you what I just asked everybody that just answered. Do you think a standard or higher standards can ruin a relationship? Why or why not?
Yeah, depends on what the standards are. Cause some things people call standards, other people won't consider it as being standards.
Okay, give me
And
an
like you say,
example,
you got
bro.
some people that just do stuff like black as white. And even if you're gonna go to like well, I'm like a church guy, so I say like if I'm gonna hold standards, it's like what are your standards based off of? Mine gonna be based off scripture rather than just something off the top of my head. And a lot of people got different backgrounds. Some of them base theirs off of their parents or what they've seen in their life, in their community, and then try to bring it towards a standard that I may set. So it'd be two different standards and just that. It's just a person's reality of how they view life, and if they deal with a situation as being carnal manner or just spiritual manner, you know what I'm saying? So that means you ain't gonna like think the way of society would think. You'll do the opposite of what they think, for to have a better outcome.
Um, so you think that if your standards are, if they have a spiritual base and a spiritual backing, do you think that that eliminates a lot of people moving the goalposts on their standards?
Yeah, because I got something to it. So it's like you got something to hold them to without even asking a lot of questions. Like if I talk to a woman that's a Muslim or something like that, or based off their faith, we pretty as people we pretty much gonna already have a thought process in our head where they stand on and what they about.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's just something to simplify a lot of stuff to skip a lot of questioning and the dating standpoints, a lot of dating and stuff like that. Because I don't like I think Terrence was saying earlier, I don't even believe in dating and stuff like that as well. So I look
Okay.
at it
So I
as a
got
waste of time and stuff like that. So
Okay, so I got a question. Do you think that how you judge the standard shifts based on how devout or how in depth that person that you're talking to is in their spirituality? Does that matter?
to the ones that's like that, yeah, I could say it matters a lot to them. At least they would say that or try to base it off that. It's just like if you see a woman or a person now talking about they practicing celibacy or whatever, they trying to be celibate after they done had their kids and did what they want to do. You see what I'm saying? Now they're gonna say, well, now I found my faith, so this one to try to base it off of now. But we would look at it as well too. It's a little too late for that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's a good thing that you try to choose and live a different way now, but at the same time, you already messing yourself up in a major way.
Okay. So you think grace? Do you believe grace can be given in these
Yeah,
scenarios?
yeah, I believe in grace and forgiving in that scenario, but you got people at the same time. You like you said, now your standards. If your standards going to be off something like that, yeah, you believe in grace and forgiving, but some things is you also got to reap what you sow, even though you still can have grace and be forgiven.
Okay. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You can't do all this all the wrong things or be okay. Let's say if I'm abusing in relationships, I can't
Mm.
abuse every woman I come by, and then think in the end it's not gonna I'm not gonna weep it somewhere down the line.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That's what
Okay.
make it delusional. We try to do things and think now we're gonna run to the other side of it. It's like you ain't gonna weep. I mean, it's a cause and effect of life.
Got you. Okay. That's solid. That's solid. I like that. I like that. So that's pretty much where we're at in the conversation now. Like I said, I appreciate you joining. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the SPS podcast. Shout out to Sharon, man. You know, y'all definitely gotta go over there check him out, man. The Wild Wake Up Show in the morning is fire. Like he be putting on some pretty
That
dope
man
topics,
be
man. That
having clouds of chaos.
that
All
wildest wake up
right.
show,
Don't
man. It,
try to
it's
sugarcoat
pretty
this
dope.
shit. Every time I
Nah,
go
man, we
over there,
gotta.
he got about an hour and a half of peace. And then it's fire and brimstone.
And it's usually the first hour and a half, by the way. After that, hey, it's up.
Like it's like yeah, it's like an hour. And it's like oh, it's cool, it's chill, it's nice, casual. Then
Yeah,
boom, it's
up.
fireworks the rest of the next couple of hours. Like God damn, when
Yeah,
we gonna take a
we
break? He's still here.
yeah.
My man is fighting through this.
Yeah, we
Damn.
appreciate your support, man. We appreciate you, doing these co-streams. It helps us out a lot, man. Like I said, you got some pretty dope people in your chat. And again, chaos is chaos.
Mhm.
Conversations can go
Yeah,
left, and that's the game, right? That's what we here for, right? So again, so they be stressing
absolutely,
them out. That's a fact. That's a
absolutely.
fact, pumps in the dump. They be taking bro through it, man. But that's what we here for, man, is to have a conversation. Again, I think we're 2 hours in. I do apologize. Like I said, I'm been thugging it with y'all all night. I want to get to the solution to put a button on this thing, man. I think that we've covered a lot very quickly, right?
Mhm.
But I want to get you all's final takes and thoughts on standards and dating and how you navigate with keeping your standards or changing your standards. Now, you can take whichever route you want to speak to. If you think you should stand firm on your standards, I need you to speak to that crowd and tell them what that looks like. If you think that your standards should grow and adjust with you, I want you to speak to that too. But put it all in the final bowl, and we'll start with Saudi and work our way around the panel.
Mhm. So I feel like um when it comes to your standards, I feel like you have to be realistic. Make sure you can check the boxes that you want to be checked. And then also I feel like sometimes you do have to make those adjustments because if you're not getting the results, then shit, that's it.
So it is what it is. I like it. I like it. Woody, what are your final thoughts, man? What you thinking, bro?
My final thoughts on it is I think that your standards should progress as the relationship progress. You know what I'm saying? I think you should, you know, always talk about your sustains and improves and, relationship where y'all are with everything and, you know, um try to keep communication open about, what I'm saying, where you at with everything and standard wise and just in a relationship in general, you know what I'm saying? Be no do. You know what I'm saying? Be the person that you know what I'm saying, wanna be, you know what I'm saying, that you wanna be with, be like that. know your partner's strengths and weaknesses, and be willing to do the things that you asking of. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bar. I like that. That's solid. That's solid. Ivan, again, I know you're doing us a little late, man, and from the context of what you're getting so far, do you got any advice for people when it comes to standards and, let's say, to your point, if you're looking for marriage? Because I know you say you don't believe in dating. What's some advice you would give to people out here that are on their standards? Should they move them? Should they be immovable? How should they navigate seeking marriage?
If seeking marriage, I would say, you got to be real with yourself for who you are
Mm-hmm.
and what it is you really want. Like, you can't be playing games. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, you trying to marry. If you know
Mm-hmm.
that you're a person that's out here doing anything, then you find I'm not going to go to the club looking for a wife. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to certain spots trying to find what I would consider a wife. I already know that I'm just trying to get my rocks off, and I'm going to go to those spots. But if you actually looking for a wife, then you pretty much you'll go to certain events that's not as other people. I'm not going to a basketball game looking for one. Go to probably events that basically religious people be at or something like that. Because I know the mindset is different. Not saying that everybody there is going to be on your level, you know what I'm saying, your thought process too. Because bad people everywhere, you know what I'm saying. But when you become who you want to marry, you will be able to see that individual and see that characteristic in somebody else.
Mm.
You won't be able to see it until you actually become what it is you're looking for. And that's what I would say. Become what it is you're looking for. Work on yourself to become that person. And that's what you stand on, not the foolishness or the delusional side of what you think it should be. But yeah, be real with yourself and honest with yourself, and you'll run into what you need. And when you run into it, you got to accept that it ain't them at times. It's you. And you
Mm.
just got to learn how to be a better leader or better individual.
Okay.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
all.
I like that because at first I was like, I don't know, but because I like to do ratchet things with my friends, and my wife is gonna be my friend. So hey, if me
That
and my
part.
wife turn up on Tuesday, I might find her there. But I think people gonna have to maintain themselves first before they look at, like, I'm gonna have to mirror what Ivan is saying. You got to be it before you go find the other version of yourself, the female version of yourself. So you need to maintain a standard within yourself, especially when men are supposed to be the ones that's going out there and chasing the women, so to speak. They supposed to be the prize, right? You're supposed to go out there and get them. So if you are the prize, that means that you getting flowers, you getting your door open, and she's telling you, "Hey, go in that room, lay down. I'm about to sit in your face." So I don't know if that's possible for a majority of men to really deal with a relationship like that. Is always going to be some outliers that men that needs that type of a female, but for the most part, you gotta go out there and get what you need, and you gotta hold a standard within yourself. This way, the other person know that you ain't playing. If you want a healthy woman, you should probably go out there and run and find a place where you running with other women, right, and other different people that you can have a standard of health with that human being. If you don't want to eat seafood, you don't want a girl that's in seafood broils, maybe you shouldn't be around that type of thing. Whatever it is that you're not into, you should probably exclude yourself from it in a way, because those lifestyle choices, if I'm a vegan and she's eating steak, it might not coincide too well, possibly, because everybody can't deal with letting the other person be. Me personally, I wouldn't have no problem with it as long as they ain't cooking fish. I don't like the smell of fish. Even when I was eating animals, I tried every animal damn near too, but I never liked how fish smelled in my house. Ugh,
I
disgusting. I
got
don't
you.
like it at all.
I
I
want to add
like.
one thing after CJ. Sorry.
And so
You
yeah,
good,
so that's
Shorty?
that's my advice. Be that standard, and then it'll be much easier just to go off what Ivan said as well. Is I'm doing the same exact thing. Like, be the standard first, and it'll be easier to see it in the other person you're seeking out.
I like that. So do you finish the thought and then we can get CJ last? You good? What you got?
Because I just noticed that you said the field dumpster diving. I just want to let people know. Sometimes you can find some good stuff going in that dumpster. It just may have a nick or two. The reason why they threw it out. No, that's some real shit. Y'all ain't see them people dumpster dive and they be coming up with Coach, Louis Vuitton, all that. They
They
got it
also
sold out.
they also come up with termites in their house too. So hey,
That's the disclaimer, Sharon. You be careful. But you may could find something. It may just have a little nick. You may need a little work. You know. That's it.
I like it. I like it. CJ, what you got, brother?
What I got is I'm not running the risk like Saudi. That's what I got. I'm not running the risk like Saudi. Um, my advice is that people need to have real standards. They need to be realistic. I think people need to actually evaluate their standards and whatever they are. What is that? Oh, whatever they are, they need to. Once they put down the standards that they got, they need to acknowledge that is everything on your standards something that most women probably have or are capable of or whatnot. Because if you start putting a lot of things on your list where it becomes like it's rare that this woman does that women do this that have this or blah blah blah. And at this point, you're making your own standards almost impossible to achieve. You know, so they need to become very realistic. Once they become very realistic, you need to stand on them. 10 toes, 30 toes if you can get that many. Don't budge because the moment you start budging, you're going to have resentment when you decide to be lenient on certain people to let them get by and they fuck you over. Then you mad at yourself because you're the one that chose to lean, like, give mercy to your own standards. So don't do that. Have reasonable standards, realistic standards, and stand on them shit.
Hey CJ, it
Hey,
sounded like
I
you were
got a
talking
question.
about that triple kind of love. You said 30 toes down. Hey, I don't know if they're
Sorry,
ready
my
for that.
bad.
Look, man, ain't nobody here,
Sound like my
Sherrod. He need to go to sleep. Like this man been on 10 all day. He need to go to sleep.
Hey, look,
He
I
don't need
got a
no
question.
coffee.
I
He
got
don't
a
need no
question
Red
for
Bull. This
Ivan,
nigga need
yo.
a shower and a fucking nap. All right, he need to go to sleep. He's done for the day.
You got a
Look,
question for Ivan? What you got?
yeah, what I mean, I know bro said he don't believe in dating. What does that look like? How, like, just say you meet a lady in the church that you know or whatever, like what's the steps to y'all relationship?
So I look at it as we men, so we basically you see you see a line, you see a field of food. He don't just go chase one. He look and observe first. So like we men, right? We can look at a group of women, right? You're gonna know which ones fit what boat. You know which ones like you can look at their characteristics of that group, and we without even talking to none of them, we already gonna pick out. Okay, that one's right there seem easy. That right there seem like she might be a little, you know, what I'm saying hard or type or whatever. That's some stuff we can already see before we even approach a person, right? And I would say so basically befriend them. So you got a lot of girls in your life that you probably talk to or conversate with, right? But you ain't actually trying to actually pursue them and actually bang them all. So let them be your friend. Give them advice. If they listening and taking advice that you giving, that might be the one that you can actually lead. But if you got that friend that you taking advice and she doing everything else than what you suggest to her, let her be. And that's how you vet. Like I can vet, you can vet without even actually being in their face. Because once you get in their face, they're gonna try to put on a show. You see what I'm saying? Now they're gonna try to put, you know what I'm saying, just a fabricated person out there to you for to get what they want from you.
But I'm saying, so where does the skipping, like, how do you skip the dating part though? Is what I'm trying to get to. Like,
So what I
what,
did, I had a couple women I talked to, and I see who took the advice and who didn't over the years, and I picked the one. I took a chance. I picked one to ask her to marry me, and she did. Because and at the same time, I watched her life. So if you talking to different women, whatever, you hear one on saying, "Yo, I talked to this guy the other night, and this person, whatever." You see one that's jumping in and out of relationships, then that's not the one for you to marry. Then you'll see one that's actually sitting still, and she never talked to nobody. She waiting, really waiting on you, whether you catch it or not. But you probably focus on the one that look better and all that kind of stuff. So that would say you basically listen to what's actually going on in their lives. If every time you talk to her, she in and out of relationship every few months or something like that, then let her be. She's not what you you know what I'm saying? She's not marriage material. You can't practice the date everybody, right? You can't practice to get out of date and to jump to another date, you know what I'm saying, back and forth. Because now you're practicing a bad habit. You're not practicing how to you know what I'm saying, how to last into a real marriage. You only practicing how to get people and get in another person's bed or whatever. That's all you practicing. So you're doing it unconsciously without realizing that you're hurting yourself. And that's why when that person do get married, they so used to jumping in and out of relationships, even though they married now, they're gonna do what they naturally used to. It's like muscle memory, but they can't help it because that's what they used to. Though they married, it probably lasts 5 years, then they gone. 3 years, then they gone because they've been practicing that from their youth. So you gotta look at some stuff. It's just embedded in them because that's what they chose, and they practice it so long that they want to change, but they can't because it's muscle memory.
That's real.
Okay. I
That's
like
real.
it. We'll definitely catch y'all back here Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you check them notification bells. Make sure y'all always pop in on Sharon in the morning, the wildest wake up show, man. He be definitely going in. Shout out to the SBG gang, chat gang. Y'all been holding us down this whole show. Shout out to the TNBR family. If you're not, make sure you join the Discord. TNBR, this might be risky, man. There's some dope conversations. We got the kin folk in there. Make sure y'all have a good night. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll tap in with y'all. The Raw Bunch going out.
We do have seeds, goddammit.
Right. Definitely do.
Peace, y'all.